wrong with this device? There's always one device that just wants to fucking not act right. Okay, so I think we got the device acting right. So give me a minute to log into our last platform, and we will be operating momentarily. And some of you folks that are joining on um, Instagram, I appreciate you folks that are coming through. We're going to be talking about President Trump meeting with Mamdani. So give me a minute to get this last live stream up, and we should be on momentarily. Going to be on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So that's where we'll be at tonight. And there's a couple other things I want to talk to you folks about. A Charlie Kirk reference. We don't know. We haven't been talking about Charlie Kirk too much, but there's a Charlie Kirk reference in this one. So give me a moment because I think this. I think I think it's important, but I also think it should jog the memory. Freedom Fighter, 47 to 42%. Explain what do you mean by that? 47 to 42% of what? Let me know in the comments. Some of my YouTube viewers are already filtering in and making comments. 42 to 47% of what? What are you talking about there, Freedom Fighter? Friend of the program, by the way. Good to see you here. If the election was run today, if the election was run today, how many of you folks do you think that if the election was run today, do you think the results, let's say it was ran today between Trump and Kamala Harris, do you think the results would still be the same? Kamala losing all of the swing states, Trump winning handedly. I won't say he won by a landslide, but he won handedly. He didn't have a problem. I think we knew very early on that Trump was going to win. It didn't. In fact, it was only maybe a couple hours or so where Kamala Harris even came off as being competitive. It was pretty clear early in the race that Kamala Harris was going to lose. So what I'm asking you folks is, if it was held now, if the race was held again today, after experiencing, nearly a year of Trump, good or bad, however you view him, do you think Kamala Harris would have any chance at defeating him now after a year of him in office? So we're going to talk. I like to see. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this. You think Kamala Harris can beat him now? I don't know. I will say that, and I see in the comments, the ginger says she would win for sure. Probably the key constituency is the Hispanic vote. That's probably the key constituency is the Hispanic vote. Anyhow, we're going to go ahead and get the show up and running. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal, depending on who you ask. This is indeed Friday evening for you folks. We're not quite Thanksgiving weekend. I guess we could kind of say that. Most of us do have to work a few days next week. Hopefully, none of you folks have to work on Turkey Day itself unless you're being handsomely compensated. I'm no longer a union employee, so I don't work holidays. My time for doing that is in the past. But I've worked many holidays. In fact, I once when I was with AT&T as a union employee, I once worked like 400 straight days. I was just gung ho for overtime, double time, all of the shit that comes with working in a union. I worked a lot of days in a row. Anyway, continuing on with the actual program, President Trump met with Mamdani not long ago. How many did you guys get a chance to catch the meeting? Because wow, I'm just gonna say I got a clip I want to play for you, and it is literally the opening clip of Trump speaking in regards to this meeting. As you see on my screen, I'm like, damn, are these people like BFFs or what the hell have we created here? It's almost like these two men. I don't know what they. Let me just say it this way. I don't know what they talked about, but but somebody schmoozed somebody because both of these men were speaking very turbulent towards each other. You know, Trump has been calling Mamdani a communist, and well, he admits to being a socialist, but you know, the right has been saying Mamdani is going to gonna destroy New York. He's the face of the Democrat Party, and that means the Democrat Party is all socialist, and they want to destroy capitalism. Not to mention the Sharia law and the Muslim aspect of it, suggesting he's anti-Semitic and all of that shit. And of course, Mamdani has had choice words for President Trump, calling him a fascist and a host of other terms. I don't know if he's called him a racist. I'm going to assume that might be in that. But Mamdani has said a fair bit of negative statements about Trump as well. So if you saw the opening of the meeting, and we're going to talk about that in a minute as I play this clip, the question is going to be what the hell is going on? Not to kind of like quoting the most popular phrase in the movie The Hangover. What the fuck is going on? This is what I want to talk about. So before we play the clip, I want to ask you folks to tap the screen, particularly on TikTok, help out the algorithm, get the program moving. Tap the screen, smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube. Helps out the algorithm. You guys always know what I say. Brings in more MAGA. So tap the screen, smash the like button, depending on the platform you're watching. If you're watching on YouTube, do us a favor, smash that like button. If you happen to be watching on TikTok, tap the screen, get the likes up to about 10K. We'll take the first caller at 10K. President Trump, opening statement, meeting with Mamdani of New York.
We've just had a great meeting, a really good, very productive meeting. We have one thing in common. We want this city of ours that we love to do very well. And I wanted to congratulate the mayor. He really ran an incredible race against a lot of smart people, starting with the early primaries against some very tough people, very smart people. And he beat him easily. And I congratulated him. And we talked about some things in very strong common, like housing and getting housing built, and food and prices, and the price of oil is coming way down. Anything I do is going to be good for New York. If I can get prices down, it's good for New York. And we've got them down, way down from last year. We have, as you know, I've been saying to a lot of people, Walmart said that Thanksgiving this year is exactly 25% less than last.
I don't know why he keeps saying that. I do want to play a little bit more of this clip. I see in the comments, PGF says Mamdani took Trump's cards today, kind of like the whole Zelensky, you don't have the cards. I don't know if he took Trump's cards, but this is certainly not the Trump many of us expected. This is like showing up to a Tyson fight, to a Mike Tyson fight, and the fight going all 10, all 15 rounds or all 12 rounds or whatever. Like, what the hell happened? We was expecting something a little bit more violent and a little bit more chaotic than this. This is not a chaotic meeting at all. This is like two BFFs. Handsome Sticky Finger says somebody needs to call Men in Black. There is a huge alien baby inside Trump and Mamdani. Good point. We're going to talk about why many folks feel exactly like what Handsome Sticky Finger said, but continuing on.
For New York, good for everybody. But I just want to congratulate. I think you're going to have hopefully a really great mayor. The better he does, the happier I am. I will say there's no difference in party. There's no difference.
A really great mayor. Now, you've been calling this guy a socialist. Ever since he started looking decent in the polls, we've been calling this guy a socialist, saying he's going to destroy New York. And now all of a sudden he's suggesting that he's going to be a really great mayor. What the hell has changed? Now, Mamdani has not even served a single day in the mayoralship. He has not been. He won't be mayor until January. So what's making Trump make such an about face and now suggest that Mamdani will be a really great mayor?
And we talked about some things in very strong common, like housing and getting housing built, and food and prices, and the price of oil is coming way down. Anything I do is going to be good for New York. If I can get prices down, it's good for New York. And we've got them down, way down from last year. We have, as you know, I've been saying to a lot of people, Walmart said that Thanksgiving this year is exactly 25% less than last year. So that's good for New York, good for everybody. But I just want to congratulate. I think you're going to have hopefully a really great mayor. The better he does, the happier I am. I will say there's no difference in party. There's no difference in anything. And we're going to be helping him to make everybody's dream come true, having a strong and very safe New York. And congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
And shakes his hand. What the hell is that? Real quick. Paul Smith says the handsome liberal versus the handsome conservative, round one. I think we're more on a friendly term, but of course, if there's some adversarial things there, Paul, I would be glad to talk to the handsome conservative. Certainly been a supporter of the program, so I don't know about that one. Freedom Fighter, thank you for your support. So what the hell happened here? They shake hands multiple times. In fact, Trump extends his hand, Mamdani shakes his hand, and while Mamdani is shaking a hand, Trump puts his hand over the other hand. I mean, what the hell is going on here? Can someone explain or speculate, because I don't think anybody has an explanation, but can someone speculate why there's been such an about face? And the obvious issue is we have hyped both the liberals, particularly the far left progressives, and MAGA, particularly those who lean far right, to hate the opposition. Both sides have said all of the worst things they could come up with about the adversary. So now these two men are, you've been telling me this dude is going to destroy New York? You've been telling me this dude is going to destroy the country, talking about Trump. All of a sudden, now you guys are friends? What kind of shit is that? You brought me out here thinking I was about to observe a fight. You don't make me hate this man or this mayor or this president, and now all of a sudden y'all friends? So the obvious question is, what the hell did they talk about in private to make them come out like this? Because this isn't Trump. This is not vintage Trump. Normally you have to kiss Trump's ass first to get his endorsement. It doesn't generally go this way. So I don't know what happened with Mamdani or better yet with Trump either. So we're going to speculate on that. But in the comments, HV says this shows MAGA even more how full of shit their president is. Well, I got to push back because Mamdani comes across as full of shit too. Mamdani also said horrible stuff about Trump. And here he is being buddy-buddy with him as well. So you can't just put this on Trump. Mamdani is doing it as well. They're both sitting there smiling and shaking hands. You know, we're happy, we're singing, and we're colored, and give us a high five. That's what I'm hearing. So somebody tell me what's the difference. Thank you, Dencal, for that galaxy. I appreciate that. I don't think MAGA is happy about this, says Hansel. And I don't think the far left progressives are going to be happy about it either. Like I just stated, both of these men have told their parties to hate the opposition. And then they show up and they're all buddy-buddy shaking hands. And I do see your comment there, Mr. Mobile. You said it was all for the camera. Well, shit, then when is it not for the camera? When you're campaigning and telling us the damage Mamdani is going to do to New York, or telling us the damage Trump is going to do to the cameras, which is what to the country rather, which is what Mamdani would say. Are you doing that for the cameras? I mean, both of these men are acting like what many would suggest is typical politicians. That's what we're hearing. DJ Julio, good to see you back, man. Good to see you. So we're going to go ahead and start the live off. Tap the screen. You guys know how the live is ran. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their commentary. We are MAGA friendly. We've been MAGA friendly since day one. We will always be MAGA friendly. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome on the program as well. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. We've never done that. It's all about free speech here. So if you enjoy that type of open dialogue, feel free to follow the program if you're currently watching live on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook. And if you're watching on YouTube, give us a sub. So starting out the program with the one and only Dencal, simple question. What the hell did we just witness? Dencal, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
What did we just witness? What the hell's going on?
Well, first thing I want to say to all the MAGA, Trump is not, he's neither a conservative nor a Republican. I just want to put that out there in the very beginning of this conversation about what was going on. Trump
Okay.
has invited every last terror group leader, I mean, Muslim, socialists, everybody into the White House and kissed their ass.
Mm.
He, I don't believe Mamdani holds the same responsibility as the president of the United States going there and being respectful in the office. I believe Mamdani went in there and sat down face to face and dressed him down. And we all know that Trump goes along with the last thing he heard.
Yeah, but then, Cal, you don't told us that Netanyahu was committing genocide and President Trump is literally helping him do it. Why the hell are you in the White House talking to this guy? I don't get it. I don't.
Because,
I can't give Mamdani an excuse on that.
because the man holds the keys to all the federal funding you're going to need to do what you need to do in your state. It's not the other way around. Now, Mamdani might win in court eventually, but Trump has the ability to hold up them federal funds for
Yeah.
months and months and months.
So what are you doing?
So
What are you doing? You're selling out to a dictator to get some money?
Look, if you got to do what you got to do to take care of your state, if you're gonna make your state suffer because of grudge you have with a man, then you don't deserve to be in that position. Now, the president, on the other hand, he is supposed to serve the whole country. And if he really believes this guy is a socialist, communist, person that's going to destroy the city, why would he stand up there in front of the world, in front of everybody, and say, "Yeah, I don't think New York is that bad." Now, he done said all of this shit about this man.
I don't disagree with you.
One's trying to protect his city that he's now going to be in control of and needs those federal funds to do what he needs to do. The other one has nothing to gain by kowtowing to Mamdani. None.
I don't agree with that, and I'll tell you why. But even though I understand I'm in the minority on this opinion, most of the viewers so far seem to agree with you. One of my viewers even stated that caller is right here, Tim. Mamdani is doing what we had to do as a politician, or what he had to do as a politician, making connections and helping the people. So, and many people are saying they agree with what you're saying as well. But I don't know. You don't said so many awful things about President Trump. I get that you're trying to get your hands on federal funding. I do get that. But I don't know. It seems like he would do this behind the scenes. But to meet and smile with him on camera after all of the stuff you said about him just a couple of weeks ago at the campaign, you think the left is going to be in the same mindset as you?
Yes, I think the people in New York are probably like, hell yeah, because if he would have took away the funding, who knows? He might even get Trump to go ahead and reappropriate that funding for those tunnels that they were supposed to, that mass transit money that was given by Biden that he took out. Like, we don't know what they had conversations about. And anybody knows you can flatter Trump if he sat there across from him and said, man, you see Trump has an affinity for New York. He talk all of that shit, but he loves that city. He was born and raised there. That's who made him. All of that moving shit to Florida was just to make more money.
And that's why I disagree with you when you said that Trump has nothing to gain and it's only Mamdani does by working with Trump because the federal funding comes from Trump. It doesn't go the other way around. Trump is obviously conducting business while being the president. With Mamdani if Mamdani becomes a friendly mayor, that allows Trump to access all sorts of businesses in New York to enrich his family even more. So he may have a lot to gain out of this. It's just for himself.
Well, I'm talking about as president. You talking about him as
Yeah.
president.
Yeah.
Yes, I happen to disagree with you. I separate those two things, just like I separate how much money he has from him being a good businessman. I separate those things. What he should be doing as the president has nothing to do with him making deals so he can do business in New York.
Yeah, but we know it does. I agree with you 100%. It should not, but we know it does. In other words, do you need federal funding? Well, I'm looking to open up. I got a friend that's been looking to open up a high rise, and the federal marshals are giving them a hell of a time. Perhaps you could do something about this. I hear you need some federal funding. This is what I'm talking about. Trump is doing that. I agree that it shouldn't be that way.
We get that, but we shouldn't normalize that as what politicians should be doing. When we have a conversation about what politicians should be doing, is what Mamdani is doing. Through any of his differences, he went there, and I'm sure all of this is probably in the art of the deal. All of this conversation going back and forth. Who won this deal in your view right now?
Between them two,
Yeah.
if I did not know Trump from what we've seen, I'm going to say, a lot of my MAGAs not going to like this. I don't believe Trump is negotiating on good faith. Somebody in the comments said Trump is a comment. I could easily see these two having a falling out in the near future.
Probably tonight when Trump settles down and all of the people that he calls and asks, what did they think about this? And they say, you looked horrible, sir. You cannot do this. You campaigned on this. You called him that. And he'll tweet something out tonight. I'm saying, but at this moment, the man who came out smelling like roses, and you can say, well, the Democrats going to be mad at him. No, they're not. No,
You're not going, didn't count. Most of the key signature promises that Mamdani made while running for office, many of them having socialist overtone. Trump is not going to send federal funding to New York if he does any of that shit. The only way you maintain a good relationship with Trump is to literally go back on all of your promises to the people of New York. The daycare. You're talking about free public transportation, free buses. You're going to go back on all of that shit. Otherwise, Trump is going to renege on you overnight.
Exactly.
So
who had the cards? Who's got the cards?
So in other words, the meeting is useless. There is no cards.
No, it's not. No, it's not useless. Not for Mamdani, it's not.
If you actually try to put forward any of your campaign promises, you're not going to get shit from Trump. This meeting is not going to turn out to be worth a damn. I don't see how.
He's going to do it, and Trump is going to co-sign it. Trump talk all of that shit. Trump does not want to see New York go to shit. He still owns Trump Tower and a lot of property and shit in New York. He's still got a lot of business going on in New York. His sons work out of New York where they're making all of these deals with all of these people. He has something to gain, but I'm not saying that that's beneficial to him as the president of the United States. What did he do? What did Mamdani do for his city as opposed to what Trump did for the country? Mamdani smoothed over so far a situation where he said he was going to cut him off. He said all the millionaires were going to leave his state, his city, and it was going to be a hellhole. Now he's saying, yeah, it's a great city, and, I think he's going to do a great job, and I like what he's talking about, and yet, who won that deal? That one specific deal. I'm not saying it's not going to change on a dime.
To me, if you win something, and it's only based on promises, like Trump got the Saudi prince or something to commit to $1 trillion. If nothing comes out of it, you ain't won shit. It just looked good. If nothing comes out of this meeting, nobody's won.
Something is obviously going to come out of the meeting.
You feel confident about that?
He had to say something to Trump. Maybe he told him, hey, I'm going to have control over all of that shit you own down there. You want the court cases to stop? You want us to stop prosecuting you? You want us to take away these judgments, the $750 million judgment that's still hanging over his head? He's got some leverage in there.
He's selling out the people of New York. I don't know, man.
How is he selling out?
Because that $750 million is supposed to go to that damn city that Trump is guilty of ripping that city off. That's what is selling out. You're gonna get this man $750 million personally in his own bank account so that he can take our tax money as a country and help New York out with it. So you're enriching him.
Look. We've seen all of the Saudis. We've seen Russia. We've seen every place Trump has gone to. Everybody sits down there and offers him all $300 million. He's talking about $20 trillion he's bringing in. None of that shit is going to happen. But guess what? They're going to get the shit from him.
Mm. So let me ask it to you this way then. I get that you believe that based on what took place today, Mamdani walks away looking like the winner in this meeting. Do you think the city of New York is actually going to benefit from this?
I think it's possible. Obviously, we know Trump is
50-50? What level of possibility? 50-50? 50% chance? 80% chance?
I think in reality, I think Trump was just talking. I don't think he would actually withhold all of that federal funding from New York. He knows that that federal funding from New York is so vital to the operation of this country because a lot of that money goes to red states so they can function.
Right.
So I think he was just talking stuff. He talked all that stuff about New York into hellhole. I'm moving to Florida. But yet all his fucking business dealings are still in New York. I believe he's been bullshitting. He's been saying what the Republicans want to hear because he wants to separate himself from the scoundrel con man that he is. They have believed that ever since I've been around the country, it's always been when I go down south. Oh, you city boys, you city boys, you city slickers. Y'all always talking fast. Y'all always doing this and y'all lie about what y'all do. Y'all scam people. That is Trump in a nutshell. But these people down south right now will lay down their life for him. And he don't give a damn about them.
How do you think, if what you're saying is true, the obvious question is, how does a man that, according to you, goes against their best interest, convince people to lay their life down for him? How do you convince somebody that you are saying you don't give a damn about to be willing to lay their life down for you?
I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist.
Is that what it takes?
I didn't even sleep at a Holiday Inn Express last night. But that's cult-like behavior. When somebody has convinced you with no evidence, you got the Hispanic people, you got the women, you got the dang on farmers, you got the car industry. All of them are being hurt by this guy. But if you call them, they heard, look, the people in the auto industry heard him say out of his own mouth that he does not like unions. Mm-hmm. He does not like them. He was glad when Elon Musk got rid of those unions and kept them out of his companies. And they still voted for him, saying that he's going to do for them.
But let's be real. I mean, this didn't just start with Trump. I don't think George W. Bush and the right under him like unions. The right has never liked unions. So, I mean, they keep voting Republican. No, most Republicans don't like unions.
Right. But they don't never say it out loud. This man came out and laughed about it when Elon Musk got rid of it. He laughed about it. Yeah. And then they turned around in the election, and the major unions, the one guy was like, oh yeah, the guy that went to the RNC, the convention. Remember, he went to the RNC convention, and they was like, yeah, we always go Democrat, but he wants to go and see both sides. He went there, and he hasn't changed his mind. Wow. And manufacturing jobs, we have been losing them month after month after month after month. Layoffs by big manufacturers have been happening, and they still say he's the best man for the job.
And I think they think because they view Kamala Harris as such a potential fuck up that's why they're saying that. Even though Trump is not meeting all of their promises, I think most MAGA felt that Kamala Harris was going to just destroy the country completely. That's why they're willing to give Trump a pass. I want to ask you something before we move it on. This is a different topic, but now you've heard that violent rhetoric. You've heard this a lot after the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Obviously, Trump was just talking about people potentially being hung yesterday. I want to ask, why is it so few people complaining about him making such a reference to violence just yesterday, but everyone was overwhelmingly talking about it when Charlie Kirk lost his life? Because obviously Trump, what he is saying, The folks that he is saying it about are already complaining that they're receiving death threats. Why is there a difference in this?
Um, Only the part where they've convinced themselves that everything is a reaction from what the left said. They'll start out a conversation and say, well, the reason why he said what he said was because the lunatic left said what they said. They don't understand that.
But wait, hold on. That's the exact excuse they used on Kirk. Is that the reason this happened is because of statements he said, and we all clarify that no matter what Kirk's words were, he didn't deserve what happened to him. But you're saying that what they said yesterday, these 6 Democrats, their words justify being hung?
Right. And they literally got on Fox News yesterday and they said these people are telling the service members to disregard legal orders from the president. Like, that's literally not what they said, but they have fixed it in their minds that is what caused him to say that. Like, so the man got up there and said today, talking about how Mamdani, he was a good person and all of that stuff, when he said a few weeks ago he hated all Democrats at a funeral.
Well, in defense of Trump, Mamdani is a socialist. He's a socialist.
Don't you both sides him saying that shit at a damn wake.
No, I can't defend the timing of it, but in defense of Trump, Mamdani is not exactly a Democrat. He's a socialist, just happens to have to run as a Democrat to get access to their coffers. So Trump said he hates Democrats.
Isn't that what the Republicans said? They said they don't care what Trump is. They just want somebody who's going to look out for them. Ain't that what they said?
That's not a bad thing for MAGA to say. Is that not what the Democrats are wanting as well? We don't care if you're Democrat, progressive, or liberal. We just want somebody that's going to look out for the people. That's not a bad thing for MAGA to say that.
Obviously. But there's a cause and effect. Do you think they would have voted for Mamdani if Trump was not the president?
Do I think New York would have voted for Mamdani if Trump was not the president?
If Kamala Harris had won the election and 10 months in, they had an election, do you think Mamdani, as a Democratic socialist, would have won in New York City?
Yeah, I do. And I'll tell you why. Because under Kamala Harris, the same problems that Mamdani campaigned on fixing would still be there. It would still be very expensive to live there. The economy would still be terrible. Folks are tired of the traditional capitalist way of life in this country where they're not getting ahead. And this guy comes along talking about free buses and daycare and shit like, going up against Andrew Cuomo and a Republican, I think he would have still won.
I disagree. I think had the economy continued to improve like it was doing before Trump did his tariff thing, if the economy had kept continuing and they would have continued to lower interest rates and people would have had a better footing in this economy and been able to afford houses and shit, no, they wouldn't have not went that far. It's the fact that people can't afford shit for real now is the reason why they're going so far as to elect somebody that's talking about, hey, let's get more public transportation. People can't afford fucking cars.
Well, they couldn't exactly afford a lot of shit under Biden's 4 years either, didn't count. Wasn't like they could afford much at all under Biden's term either. So I don't know.
People in New York could afford cars. People in New York chose public transportation because it was more efficient, it was faster, it was cheaper than owning a vehicle. It's not the wealthy. It's the most billionaires in the world live in New York. Like, New York is the wealth capital of the world. That's why 10 million people live there, because that's where all the fucking money is at. So saying that they couldn't afford cars, like, they paying $2,800 for a 1-bedroom apartment that's 500 square feet. Like, they can afford the shit.
So you think President Kamala would have led to what? Andrew Cuomo winning, or the current mayor winning another term?
No, I think it would have probably been more people would have been in there. I don't even know because I know probably Eric Adams probably wouldn't have not got into this shit he was into, which he would have still been like he might have even got reelected.
Well, because the Democrats would have probably been saving his ass from getting indicted and things like that. So,
Probably so.
yeah, you probably would have had more Eric Adams. I don't know. Mamdani is a really good campaigner. He smiles all the time. He says shit you want to hear. He sounds kind of familiar. I got to move it on, no Cal, but if you and I disagree on Mamdani, I think he would have still won. You see all the love and support Bernie Sanders has gotten, AOC has gotten. He's just another one of them, in my opinion.
So you're saying Mamdani for president in 28?
That's soon. That is soon. But let me tell you something. If Mamdani delivers on, let's say, 35 to 40% of his promises for the city of New York, I can see him getting a promotion, governor, senator. I can see it. I mean, listen, he's very young. He's not even 40 years old yet. So he got a lot of national races before if he wanted to run for president in 2050, he probably could. So, I mean, there's a lot of time left. A lot of time left. So,
right. And so, like I said earlier, do you think any of this would have been possible if Trump wasn't the counterbalance?
yeah.
If Trump wasn't pushing this country so far right, I don't believe. Look, the country, not the country, but the establishment, they rejected Bernie Sanders because he said the word socialist.
I think that, they didn't, some people rejected him, but the city of New York that leans further left than most of the country, I don't think they would have rejected Mamdani. I mean, yeah, at a national level, we may not be ready for Mamdani just yet, but let people keep suffering under capitalism, which the trajectory is you have some good economies, some bad economies, but overall, people are falling further and further behind. I mean, it's just the way it's set up. You're getting rid of pensions, you're getting rid of unions. The way the trajectory is set, you're holding minimum wage the same for year after year. There's going to be some good economies in there, but overall, people are falling further and further behind. And the more that happens, the more people are going to be willing to try something else other than capitalism. I give you the last word. I got to move on.
Yeah, good conversation. I just want to say, as people have reminded me in the chat, that he's not a natural born citizen, so he wouldn't be able to run.
Okay, fair enough.
The idea is still the same.
I think definitely governor or senator is very possible for Mamdani, particularly of New York. Very possible. Thanks for coming through. All right. All right. Yeah, and moving on with the program, by the way, tap the screen, get the likes on up to 30,000. Less unions, less pensions, people are getting poor. That's what I'm saying, Chris. Overall, the trajectory is American employees are not, healthcare sucks. If Trump gets rid of what's left of Obamacare, it's only going to get worse. Trump is talking about in MAGA, my beloved MAGA, are talking about how bad the Universal Care Act is or how bad Obamacare is, but they're not talking about replacing it with anything. They're just saying Obama's health care plan sucks. We want to get rid of that and I guess go back to what healthcare was like 2007 before that. People are falling further and further behind and they're willing to try something else. Anyway, looking in the comments, by the way, tap the screen, get us up to 30,000, all while giving corporations welfare, says Further Great. I don't disagree at all. And that's what's making people view capitalism more favorably. Trump talks about government running things also. That is true, which goes against the core tenet of the Republican Party, which is small government. That is true. He does often talk about, the National Guard, all of that stuff is big government coming in and just simply telling the people what's going to go down. Sherbert, good evening or welcome to the program.
Get to a quieter spot.
Your audio's kind of, repeat that.
Let me get to a quieter spot.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Perfect.
Somebody in the comments, Lee Hall said, I stopped buying toilet paper. I use my flag. What the hell? You're wiping your ass with the American. Yeah, I think that's a bit disrespectful, is it not, Sherbert?
Disrespectful or not, it's still his free right with the freedom of speech. He can do whatever the fuck he wants with that flag.
Yeah, but And you're right, he can, but my God, how does that look? Putting shit on Old Glory.
It means he's buying a lot of flags, which is helping out our
Now
economy.
you can wash them. I mean, people use cloth. You can wash it. I mean, it might be a bit few
Oh,
chunks
it's
in
so
your.
gross.
Yeah, it is. It's certainly got corn in your washing machine. But anyway, continuing on, real quick before we get to the main topic, which is Mamdani meeting Trump. What about what we talked? Me and Dencal talked about here. What folks suggesting that words should not have caused what happened to Charlie Kirk, but many of the same folks are suggesting that the words coming from these 6 Democrats, Trump is somehow right to suggest that they should be put to death or hung. What say you?
Do you know what borderline personality disorder is?
What do you mean, like being bipolar? You go this way one day, the next day you talking this shit?
Yeah, for the most part, it's just a little more.
Are you saying we may have elected somebody? Are you saying we may have elected somebody like that?
Oh, 100%. And it very much is whoever talked to him last is whoever he's going to favor. And so yesterday he talked to Stephen Miller, and today he talked to Mamdani. And so groceries, old-fashioned term, like, Jesus Christ, man, stick to your principles and have it. But this flip-flopping shit, that's why we call them taco tits.
I don't know about the tits. I never heard that part. So let me ask you then. If you believe he has, personality disorder, and it's all about who talked to him last, do you think anything is going to come out of this meeting with substance?
No, but it's all a show anyways. It's all just him wanting to get on camera and, glad hand and do his extra long handshake with Mamdani. None of this fucking matters, Tim. None of it. But
so the whole thing was a bunch of bullshit.
100%. But Mamdani's got to do it, and Trump can't help himself.
Mamdani is the one that set this up, Sherbert. He didn't have to do that.
Is he? I thought Trump set it up.
No, Mamdani is, from what I hear, Mamdani is the one that reached out to Trump.
Maybe. But again, he has to do it. He has to put on a flat face.
Why?
When he said, if you come after one of us, you come after all of us. That doesn't mean you can't work together. It means you can't come after us or else we will fight. It's not saying it won't work at all.
You went and met with somebody that you're accusing of participating in genocide and fascism. And you're telling me that Mamdani doesn't look scarred at all by doing that?
Hey, he's got to play the game, Tim. He literally got elected to play that game.
I thought he got elected to fight the game. Same thing Trump got elected to not be a typical politician, to not be a typical insider. Both of these men got elected to not do this shit. Were we duped?
On one side, absolutely. On the New York side, maybe. But we'll see on that one. We know what Trump is. We're not really sure what Mamdani's going to do, but hopefully some good.
So you kind of agree with me that it's very unlikely that Trump was negotiating with this guy in good faith.
No, because he's going to go talk to Stephen Miller or some Zionist that got really pissed by when Mamdani said he's not going to go to Israel. And then he'll send out another mean tweet about it, and it all starts over and over and over again.
So how long before these two are infighting again on social media?
I give it 48 hours.
That soon? Holy shit.
Yeah.
48 hours?
Have you seen Trump stay on any topic for more than 2 days?
48 hours, though? That's... You think Trump and Mamdani going to be having choice words for choice? They're not even going to make it to Thanksgiving?
Nah, no way. I mean, as we know from Trump, he's going to send out another psychotic holiday tweet here. Yeah. So I'm just waiting on that one.
Yeah, we know his Twitter account is always going. I mean...
maybe because his family hates him, every time there's a holiday, like he then explodes and says the most vitriolic shit ever. So I think that's what's happening.
You're saying Trump's family hates him?
Well, not Eric. That guy's a simp.
I mean, the one that's married to Jared Kushner, Ivanka.
Yeah, the one that hasn't been around at all for the last year.
I don't think it's that she hates him. She might hate politics. Politics is toxic. I think some of these folks may realize the writings on the wall that Trump is going to leave behind a name that's going to be forever controversial and toxic. So maybe she had enough after the first term and like I don't want nothing else to do with this. She made a lot of money from the Saudis. Her husband did.
Oh yeah, she
Yeah.
benefited, but you saw as soon as he lost that election, she disappeared.
Yeah. I don't fault her for doing that. Okay, you're dealing
That
with
was
this,
the right move.
huh?
It was the right move.
Yeah, you get in, get what you need, and get out. She's set for life. She will one day inherit whatever her dad leaves behind or a chunk of that. I mean, she's more than set for life. Why have to deal with the drama of politics? Kind of like what Michelle Obama appears to be doing. I don't want nothing to do with this. I'm set for life. I can be out here with my husband watching him on the beach surfing. Why the hell do I want to, have to be at risk of getting shot every day and doing campaigns and shit? I can understand it.
I mean, I don't know what we disagree on here, Tim.
So, but if you're Mamdani, you take this meeting with Trump.
Well, again, it's whoever he talked to last. So if he is the one that set this up, then he might get some brownie points. Trump might do him, not so dirty. But because he's so bipolar and borderline personality, it won't matter. But he still tried.
Yeah, I don't know. I hear Denkow said the same thing, and a lot of the audience agree with Denkow. I kind of understand it, but at the same time, like I said, I feel so strongly that Trump is not negotiating with this guy in good faith. It's like what I told Denkow.
Oh, never.
Yeah, I mean, if Mamdani tries to even deliver on half of his promises that he made during the campaign, Trump is going to be saying all kinds of awful shit about him because he campaigned as a socialist, giving away a bunch of free shit. So I don't see how this meeting was even worth it.
Well, I generally agree with what you were saying with Denkow about if he can play nice, his family is going to get more contracts in New York and do all the business in New York. And so, I mean, ultimately, this might benefit Trump more than hurting everyone. But when he sued to keep SNAP benefits closed down, he didn't give a shit about anyone else but himself. And it's so very clear.
Now, in regards to that, because I think they said, 40% of SNAP recipients are in red states, something like that. There's a lot of Republicans that receive SNAP. The question I want to ask is, why does only the Democrats seem to think that Trump literally suing in court, trying to take it all the way to the Supreme Court to not fund SNAP is a bad thing? Why doesn't MAGA see that as a bad thing?
Cruelty is the point.
Even if it's to themselves.
Yes. Doesn't matter. They got to go with their coal leader. Wow. I mean, how dare we spend our money on needy people like me?
That sounds awful. So against their own best interest, just to defend Trump.
Oh, definitely.
And I'm going to ask you
That's
something.
the thing about the coal. If you're going to drink the Kool-Aid, it doesn't really matter if it's going to hurt you. That's what the leader said.
And Mono in the comments says, "Wow, what a turd." Okay, so you obviously don't agree with him. But I want to ask, how does one get a cult? Because this sounds like some good shit. You got people that like you so much that they will actually support you even if it's bad for themselves. How does one get a cult?
Tim, if I knew that, I wouldn't be worrying about my next rent payment.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few chicks out there I wouldn't mind being cult. Like, I mean, it just seems, like shit, really? No matter what I do, you still got my back, huh? I mean, it just seems like something worthy of dealing with. So at the end of the day, these two men wasted all of our damn time. And what about Mamdani? Do you see him as I stated, where he could go further in terms of at the national level? Obviously not president due to his place of birth, but Senate, governor, definitely representative. Do you see that as well?
If he does even, 50% well, absolutely.
Do you see the rest of the country going in the same direction? Because people are saying that this man is the face of the Democratic Party.
They can say that all they want, but it's not true because we are made up of so many different cultures across that it may be a very big cultural point in New York, but that doesn't count for all of the Democratic states or even most of the Democratic states. So I'm from California, and he resonates pretty hard with that same idea out there. but that doesn't really matter for the middle of the country.
Yeah. What about what my last caller said that if Kamala Harris was our president right now, Mamdani would not be the mayor of New York?
I generally agree with that. Equal and opposite reactions. And so the balance has swung so far to dictatorship and authoritarianism that socialism doesn't sound so bad. But Bernie says it. No, fuck you. We'll burn you at the cross.
So you actually think, just like he does, that Mamdani is just a counterbalance to Trump? That he couldn't do it as a standalone. He needed somebody in there like Trump to get it.
That's definitely a factor. I think with his advertising and his personality, he would have gone pretty far, but he may not have won so handedly.
Wow. I don't know. I think the guy would have won. I don't know, man. Okay, I'm on the opposite side of both of you folks. I think the guy ran a brilliant campaign. He got out there and I mean, listen, AOC did something similar. She got out there and actually talked to the people, individual dollar donations. I mean, because what is it? Andrew Cuomo. I don't know who else would have ran against her, but I don't know. I still think he would have pulled it off.
I mean, a lot of his strength is just not being a 70-year-old man.
Yeah, and that too. But
and so in the next midterms, I really want to see a lot of our representatives get replaced by 35, 40, 45-year-old people.
No more
that actually might have a little more at stake to make the world run better, or the country run better, because it's going to affect them and their children, not just, my grandchildren, I'll be fine.
So no more Chuck Schumer.
No, fuck that guy. Hakeem Jeffries can go too.
Well, Hakeem Jeffries not that old.
No, but I don't like him.
Who do you like? Who do you see? Because Trump is obviously the face of the Republican Party so much that they're talking about a third term. Who do you see on the Democrat side that would make a good face for the party?
Tim Walz, Bernie Sanders, AOC,
Tampon Tim, as they say. You think Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, could pull it off?
Oh, yeah. I think he could have won if he had been the lead on that ticket.
Wow. Tim Walz. I actually thought Tim Walz was a good pick as well. I mean, he checked off a lot of boxes that, in my opinion, the next candidate needs to be a straight white Christian male, and he checked all of those boxes off. He's also a veteran, but they still found little ways to tear that guy to pieces.
Yeah, but Tim, cruelty is the point. They're going to tear anybody to pieces. Little Marco, it doesn't matter. Meatball Ron,
Meatball. I thought it was Ron DeSanctimonious. Meatball Ron.
That was one of them. He came up with 20 for Ron DeSantis.
Wow. I hear Marjorie Taylor Greene has a few of them now. What did he call her?
I don't even know.
Yeah, he's giving
I'm so surprised by her turn of face, but I'm not going to be mad at it, but I'm still not going to trust her until this actually lasts for more than 6 months.
You wouldn't accept her over a la Tulsi Gabbard style, No. Tulsi Gabbard.
Also, Tulsi Gabbard turned out to be a traitor, so nah, I don't trust her anymore. I used to really like Tulsi Gabbard, and then I got to see what she really thought, and went, "Oh, fuck this."
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes these people look at it from a standpoint of, I may think this way, but if I think that way, they're gonna make me really rich. So I think some of these folks get in there and their mindset changes. Certainly with President Trump. Trump is doing a whole lot of things at the right, from big government to, challenging the Constitution, stuff they complained about all the time. But he's going to make us pretty powerful, pretty wealthy, so we'll kind of, play along for now. So sometimes what they say is not what they're going to do if the conditions are right.
Somebody's asking for evidence on Tulsi Gabbard. I believe she was a registered Russian agent.
A Russian agent? And what do you mean, actually working for the Russians?
Yeah, I think she was an ambassador.
Well, then she would fit right in with where she's at. I got to move it on, Sherbert, though. As always, good to talk to you again. Appreciate you coming through, and thank you for the support, man. Appreciate that.
No worries. Have a great night.
You too. All right, moving on with the program. Trump only sucks Russian sausage, says Lee Hall. What is a Russian sausage? What are you indicating there, sir? Russia, says BS. Real quick in the comments, thank you. Handsome Sticky Finger says, Tim, we can all agree Trump is a mob boss. Basically, behind closed doors, Trump said, say hello to my little friend. Trump said, Mamdani, either get on board or you'll get a taste of my little friend. Could be some of that. There could be some of that. I mean, look, I know from going to a couple Trump rallies myself, for lack of a better word, the man is charming. I mean, the guy got me to stand up and applaud a couple times, and he pointed at me and winked. I always say this, he pointed at me and winked, and I felt it like, man, the guy knows how to make people feel special. And my guess is getting Mamdani behind closed doors, it was nothing for President Trump to work him over because the guy is a really good schmoozer. I always say he could sell ice to igloos. He could sell igloos, or he could sell ice to Eskimos. That's what I'm saying. He could sell ice to Eskimos. He's a really good salesperson. Damn, he was doing it to the guy behind you. Now, Giant, I'm 6'6", and you can't see the guy behind me. So when I stand up, you're not going to see the guy behind me. I'm 6'6", 300 pounds, so I have a presence. There's no guy behind me that you're pointing to. You're pointing to my black ass. Anyway, continuing on with the program. Get off your knees, says Ronaldo Daniels. How, Mom? Gaysa grandma with this on your knees comment. Some of the shit some of you folks say, it resonates with the people in some of the worst ways. Just get off your knees, shit. I'm not on my goddamn knees. Anyway, tap the screen, get us on up to 40,000. Don't take that away from the. Don't take that away from Tim. He loved talking about it. Popo, you in the comments going off today. Just going off on your boy, going off. And appreciate you here. Losers enjoying every second of this Democrats. Mark, losers in what way do you mean? I'm assuming you're saying the Democrats are losers. I think Bernie Sanders has run a few times and didn't get anywhere. I agree. We need younger individuals in the seats. Some would argue, and President Trump said this today, that Bernie Sanders got cheated out of the election. Some would argue that Hillary Clinton is the reason Bernie Sanders didn't make it. And it's not because more people just voted for Hillary Clinton, but they're claiming that behind the scenes, Hillary Clinton may have done some things. Trump said that the reason he and Mamdani were getting along so well is that they agree with a lot more than he originally thought they would. So somebody should ask him, what the hell do you agree with Mamdani on? I would like to know. Let me go back to the box, tap the screen, get us on up to 40,000. Let your thumbs not be lazy. Continuing on with the program, James Harper. Good evening. Welcome to the program, James. Future predictions, a realistic scenario, and credible names. United States of America bid to host the 2042 World Cup will be announced, followed by the selection of the United States as the host. 2042. All right, James, good evening.
What's going on, Tim?
Not much at all. Did you happen to see any of the footage from Mamdani and Trump meeting?
Yeah, I saw some of it, but I mean, this is just like when he went and met Kim Jong-il. It's a photo op. That's nothing more, nothing less.
So once again, you don't believe, just like my other two callers, you don't believe nothing's going to come out of this.
No.
So if you feel that way, my other two callers feel that way, what the hell was Mamdani feeling? Did he know he was there wasting his time?
I think it's customary for new mayors to meet the president at least once. They're going to end up having to communicate at some point, especially if something happens in New York City that he needs federal help with.
Yeah. But see, that's what I was saying to, I believe, my first caller, Dencal, is that if that's the case where you got to meet him because it's customary or whatever, you don't have to meet with this dude on camera and let you guys have this schmoozing talk.
You know Trump is not doing anything really behind the scenes, especially if it's somebody that he previously talked about. He wants to have that on cameras in people's face.
Well, is there any way he could, I mean, you're telling me, so Mamdani does not get the option of meeting with him unless it's in front of a bunch of cameras?
No, Mamdani actually said while he was campaigning that he would happily meet with Trump. So yeah, he was already going to do it.
Mm. So if nothing comes out of this, how does it not look? If you got Mamdani on TV smiling in front of the cameras when Trump is saying all this stuff, if nothing comes out of it, how does this not make Mamdani walk away looking like he got conned.
It would be a lose on both sides because nothing really happened. But we all know Trump is a puppet. What he says he's going to do, it won't matter if the people around him won't make it happen.
Yeah, but how is it I think it's more of a loss for Mamdani if nothing comes out. How is it a loss for Trump? What does Trump lose? I mean, Trump is, as you brought up Kim Jong-un, Trump has met with a ton of people. Red carpet for Putin. He's met with a ton of people that nothing came out of. And his supporters are still there. Mamdani is the one.
And Trump has done the same thing with Kim Jong Un. He praised Kim Jong Un. He praised North Korea.
Yeah, but
And then what ended up happening?
I'm not
North
disagreeing with
Korea
that. That's
turned
what,
around and talked shit about Trump right after that, and Trump didn't do anything about it.
yeah, but what I'm saying is Trump meeting with Mamdani, if nothing comes out of that, you're right. He met with Vladimir Putin. He met with Kim Jong Un, and nothing came out of those meetings. His side of the aisle is used to him meeting with people and nothing coming out of it. Whereas Mamdani's folks may not have that type of accustomed nature of useless meetings. Trump supporters ain't going nowhere, no matter how many useless meetings he has. You think Mamdani's supporters are going to keep riding with him, even if he does stuff and nothing come out of it?
I think they're waiting for him to actually do his actions before they judge him. Like this is just all about press options. Like we don't know what kind of person he is until he actually takes that oath and starts trying to implement policy.
Do you think he can really accomplish all of that shit as only a mayor of a city?
He's going to get major pushback, but one of the people that pushed back against him is looking like a jackass right now because he got all that praise from Trump.
Well, you and I both are agreeing that praise from Trump is only temporary. As my last caller said, the shit is going to be over with before Thanksgiving. I mean, so that praise from Trump, you're not going to be to cash that in. That's phony money.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, it does, but it basically looks bad to the people that were talking shit about him, especially the governor of New York. She was one of the main ones saying like, "Oh, yeah, none of this is going to happen. He's this kind of person. He's that kind of person." And then you got Trump sitting there praising him right there, right after that. It makes whatever she said looks completely asinine.
Yeah, but that's temporary is what I'm saying, James. Right now, she looks asinine. But if my last caller is right, and Mamdani and Trump have a falling out within a few days, then she can come back and say, I told you so. This was a useless meeting. So she may be resurrected the minute they have a falling out.
You're right. It might be like that, but like I said, we have to wait and see.
Do you feel confident this relationship is going to remain strong between Trump and Mamdani?
No, because of Trump's nature. Like name
So you not.
name one relationship.
So you're not waiting to see it. You already know.
Name one relationship Trump has had that remained positive.
Him and Melania.
Tim, they don't stay in the same spot. They don't. There's no show of affection except for like that placated like kiss on the cheek. And then half the damn time he has to basically like bribe her to like show up in camera on the same place he is.
You don't think he occasionally breaking her off? She's a supermodel or a former supermodel. You don't think he hitting that at all?
The last time they did, Barron was born.
How old is Barrett? He a grown ass man now, ain't he?
Exactly. She.
Oh, that's a long ass time, man. I mean, is that why his hand got all them spots on it? That's a long time, man.
No, he got all those spots on him because his health is poor.
Mm. Well, I mean, we don't want to wish ill will on the man. I'm hoping, the guy will. You think the guy will finish his term, right? Because I got some viewers who suggested the guy ain't going to finish his damn term.
Well, you got to look at the way he eats, the way he acts. Like, name a healthy president that just wanders the White House.
What do you mean by wanders the White House?
Okay, remember when the press caught him like on the roof? He wasn't on there because he just wanted to be out there. His ass got lost and ended up there.
Well, I don't think that's been proven because he was actually able to respond to camera people on the ground and talk to them, and he sounded quite sane. So I don't know if he got lost on the roof.
He did his rambling. That's what he did.
I don't know. And I seen the comments tomorrow saying, "Do you think that Melania would cry if Trump passed away?" I think she'd be sad.
Not at all. She'll do the whole crocodile tears like Kirk's wife with uh
Yeah.
acting like she's wiping off tears, but as soon as she's gone, like she's gonna be celebrating all that money that she thinks she's gonna get.
Well, shit, she already is set for life, even if he stays alive. I mean, she already, and their money is no object with her right now. But you're correct about Erica Kirk. My God, she got over his death very quick. I ain't never seen them like that. I
She was
mean,
she was over his death not even 48 hours after he died.
oh, maybe that was not necessarily a match made in heaven as they were portraying, but yeah, she really did not seem to be that torn by his death at all. So some cases are like that. So also, speaking of them two, what about the notion that violent rhetoric can lead to stuff that like what happened to Charlie Kirk? Yet President Trump is out here talking about members of Congress potentially should be hung. Do you see any comparison there?
Okay, you gotta remember, like Trump told people to fight like hell, and your election's gonna be stolen. What did they do?
No, but that ain't exactly talking about killing anybody, though. I mean, now you're talking about hanging people.
What does fight like hell mean? What do you think
Uh,
they're
he,
gonna say?
he did say
Because
go.
remember, you got to remember, conservatives, they're all about, oh, one day the government's going to be tyrannical and we're going to have to fight. We're going to have to fight them. That's why they're all about small government.
Well, here's some conservative in the comments said they went and protested peacefully. Trump said it was a love fest.
Okay, I'm in D.C. That's a goddamn lie.
That was the FBI. That's what I'm hearing. That was the FBI and Ray Epps.
Okay, who's in charge of the FBI, Tim? Don't start fluffing the chief now.
Don't start what? Fluffy the. Well, listen, Trump was in charge of the FBI for a few more days, so but yeah, we were told the FBI was there
But
instigating.
it was his people. Like there wasn't Biden didn't get no people in there that could do anything like that. Those were those people. So you saying it was the FBI that made that noose? It was the FBI chanting, "Hang Mike Pence."
No, that a chant is a chant. Pigs in a blanket fry 'em like bacon. I mean, people make chants. I don't know, but I do agree with you that the rhetoric was promoting violence. I
And
don't.
then they say it. They say it was peaceful. Like, what's peaceful about beating somebody with an American flag and a Trump flag? What's peaceful about tasing Capitol Police?
Well, they suggested Antifa was involved in a lot of that stuff.
Okay, they say that all the time, but why would Antifa do anything like that when getting rid of Trump was part of what they wanted? Why would they go and sit there and make a violent thing if they're already winning by getting somebody else elected instead of him?
Well, shit, you seem to think this stuff has to make sense. I didn't say any of this makes sense.
No, I'm not saying that. Like you just said, things don't make sense because MAGA they don't work with sense. They don't work with logic.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree that it would make no sense for Antifa to go there and do that when they would normally be celebrating that a liberal's coming in office. So
all that stuff was them trying to make excuses because they don't want to admit that their people were being violent and acting like what they considered the left doing.
well, I mean, somebody said in the comments you should bring up some of the video of that attack, of that incident, and tell us that was some. What else are you saying there? Giant robot. Listen. I don't have a lot of defense for what happened on January 6th. And by the way, I think at this point about a half dozen of Trump's pardons have went on to commit additional major felonies. I just heard the other day that one of his white collar pardons.
As conservatives trying to say like it's a Democratic Party that's violent, but if you actually look at data, most violent actions and stuff like that, especially political, comes from white right wingers. Like there's actually studies. That's why they try to take it off of like government databases because it proves that point.
Well, I will tell you this, because a lot of folks were saying it shows the left are the most violent after what happened to Charlie Kirk. When President Trump is now talking about, hanging, he kind of neutralized a lot of the Charlie Kirk stuff. I mean, you can't say that we need to tone down stuff after what happened with Charlie Kirk, and then now the president is talking about, people should be hung and things like that. So he's kind of moved the dial back by even saying something. And he didn't do it once, he said it twice. I mean, first he talked about they should be executed. I think he used the word
But
executed.
Tim, they couldn't even prove that the guy who they say shot Kurt was even leftist. They're sitting there, they were talking about like that guy was like a groiper. He didn't. He was more a Nick Fuentes guy than anything else.
Yeah, yeah. Based on what because you're talking about Tyler Robinson, that's the name of the assassin. I don't see enough there. I mean, if you take away the fact that he had a transgender partner, there's not anything else that shows this guy's
We
left.
don't even we don't even know that part is true because like that text that they had that was Chat GPT. Because name one millennial or anything like that talks anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I saw it. There was no abbreviations, no emojis. It definitely did not look like how young people talk on the text. But I will say that even if you give them what they're saying, which is this guy had a transgender lover or whatever, you take that person out of that kid's life or that guy's life, and there's nothing else there that makes him appear leftist. I mean, he's well accustomed to firearms. I mean, his family leans heavily to the right. There's cops in the family. They're very religious. He just sounds like a right winger. If without the transgender stuff, there's nothing there. And by the way, like, has anybody ever seen anything that suggests this guy's a card carrying Democrat? So, look, you have to make him be leftist to make
It's
it
the
make
same
sense.
thing about the guy they said shot Trump in that with that assassination attempt. There was nothing that guy had or said that made anybody believe, oh, he's a card carrying Democrat. He's just trying to do that. It's another one of those things where they didn't do their job in investigating and they just coming up with shit because they had to get in front of this as fast as they could.
Well, it helps the narrative too, though. I mean, if the target is the other side and you can point to how the other side is trying to kill us, that really helps. I mean, so you're gonna, if anything happens to any conservative, if you're conservative or MAGA, you kind of want it to be a Democrat because it does help the cause. Just like the same thing in reverse. If something happens to a liberal, you're going to have plenty of liberal networks hoping that is MAGA because it helps the cause.
You're right, Tom. But like I
So,
said, these guys they they they're quick to push that. And let's call it what it is. This the DOJ that it is now is a shell of what it used to be. Like instead of keeping like the competent people, they just kept the loyal people, and the loyal
yeah.
people are the ones that were desperate for power that didn't know what the hell they were doing.
Mm. Well, this absolutely is a government that rewards loyalty over actual experience. There's no denying. I'm assuming they want experience as well, but loyalty is more valuable if you're trying to join this administration than experience. I don't. It's hard not to deny that, but I want to ask you something else before we move on real quick. I was going to talk about it on the show. I haven't brought it up that much, but President Trump has given the Ukraine until Thanksgiving to agree to the surrender terms, which are essentially everything Russia wanted when they started the attack 3 years ago. They want 20% of the Ukraine. They want Ukraine to shrink the size of its military, no contact with NATO, no NATO member.
So basically, Trump is acting like a Russian asset because how do you go and talk about you're a negotiator, but you're favoring one side over the other?
Yeah, based on what I'm hearing, there's nothing in it for the Ukraine. So I guess you could say
There's
something
nothing
like
in it,
that.
but one of our biggest adversaries, we got our leader sitting there like basically letting them run roughshod over everybody. And instead of actually trying to help these people, he's like, no, you should let these people like run all over you because you already know as well as I do. The second they agree to that, what's going to happen? Russia's going to go push even harder.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I think most of Europe probably would say the same thing. If you agree to what they're offering, and so they're going to come back. They clearly want all of the Ukraine. They don't want 20%, but they'll take 20% now so that they can rest, reestablish their military, et cetera, and do it again in 5, 10 years. But
They're going to take that 20% and they're going to start trying to rip Ukraine's resources so they can come back stronger, and it's going to be the same thing that NATO's already afraid they were going to try to do because they already know Russia's not going to stop.
Yeah. Not to mention, if you agree to their terms, you can't even strengthen your military to defend
No,
it if it happens
it,
again.
they're gonna get ran over if they even start trying to demilitarize. Like Ukraine has already shown that Russia's not as strong as that everybody believes they are by actually like doing real damage to them. If we sat there and like gave them the help that we've been giving them before,
Right.
they would have took back all the land that they already lost and would have pushed them to at least a stalemate.
So why do you think Trump would favor something like this then?
Because Trump wants to be like Putin. He wants to be an authoritarian. He wants his word to be law. Why you think that he hasn't pushed back on Kim Jong Il? He hasn't pushed back on Putin and President Xi. He hasn't pushed back on him either. He keeps saying like, "Oh, I'm going to tariff him. I'm going to tariff him," until they say, "Oh, well, if you do that, we'll do this." And what's the first thing he do? He backs off.
Mm. So at the end of the day, it's kind of like what you just said. Trump comes across as a Russian asset.
Yes, if you look at all the people that Trump is being buddy to, it's not democratic leaders. It's all authoritarians.
Yeah, yeah, that does appear to be that way. All right, James, that's not what we talked about in regards to ending the war in 24 hours. That's not what anybody expected, is that they just give up and give all this shit
His
up.
idea ending the war in 24 hours is telling Ukraine to surrender.
Yeah. In fact, he's telling them to surrender parts of the Ukraine that Russia is not even currently occupying. So, I mean, he's talking about giving away that much of the country, that parts of it that they're not even
Exactly.
occupying.
And what's the first thing he did when he got in office? Him and Elon Musk. They took away all the help that we was giving them to hamper them, and that helped Russia out even more.
Yeah.
Because all the intel we were giving them that was helping them fight, he took that away immediately.
Yeah. Well, fortunately for the Ukraine, a little bit. There are now some European nations. I think France just vowed to sell them, I think, a few dozen military, because France makes they make jets as well, military jets. So some of the other countries are stepping up.
His incompetence has made it so that all these other NATO countries, they're going to start making all the money that we were making from building these kind of stuff. They're starting to do it, and guess what? All that money we were getting, that's even less money that our country going to our GDP because we're going to lose those contracts.
I don't think it's Trump being incompetent. I think that he's leading America in a different direction than we were expecting. I mean, he's making a killing off of it.
Like I said, he's in it for himself. He's not in it for the country. He's in it for himself. He will sit there and amass as much money as he can, thinking that he's going to be able to like run in somebody else's country.
Yeah, I don't get it though. I mean, the guy's 80 years old. He already has enough money to last multiple lifetimes. I don't get what the continued pursuit of money is.
No, he's valued at having so much money. He didn't have that much money until recently. Before it was just he had all these properties that was worth money. It wasn't liquid.
He was
Why you think he was sitting there asking for loans so he can do the appeals or all them cases that he had?
Yeah.
It's because he didn't have the money to do that shit on his own.
I hear what you're saying, but when the guy came down the golden escalator, he was set for life. I mean, maybe he wasn't worth 15 billion like he said he was, but he was worth millions of dollars. He was set for life.
He was worth a couple million, but he was also bleeding.
A couple million? That's all you think he was worth?
He wasn't a billionaire.
The man said he was worth 15 billion is what he said.
Yeah, and he's also the man that every time the Forbes list came out, he was sitting there complaining about it, talking about I should be valued more than this because I believe this. And he also got found guilty of fraud because he was overinflating what his property was until it was time to pay up.
And I see in the comments, Giant Robot said he was worth about 100 million for all estimations at that time. Yeah, so he said he was worth 15 billion. So if he's only worth 100 million, that's a huge amount of exaggeration. James, I gotta move it on. Thank you for coming through, though.
No problem, Tom.
Always appreciate it. Tap the screen, get us on up to 70,000. Sticky fingers. Humpty Dumpty, Trumpy, and Melania wouldn't care not a damn about Trump. JD Vance, it is official that he broke off his marriage and something is in the works with Erica Kirk. Where the hell you hear that at? Let me repeat this now. Okay, first the Humpty Dumpty Trumpy and Melania wouldn't care. So you're saying that if Trump passed away, Melania would not care about it at all? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I get she comes across as stone faced, but if her husband died, you don't think Melania Trump would care? But your second part of this comment is even more egregious. You're stating that this is his quote. This is one of my viewers quoting. It is official that he broke off his marriage and something is in the works for Erica Kirk. Has anyone else heard something like that? I didn't hear about it, and I was doing my notes before coming on live. Has anyone else heard anything about J.D. Vance and his wife breaking up? That's a hell of a lot of speculating. I think that would be big, big news because everybody would then go find Erica Kirk and put a microphone in front of her face. All of a sudden, something happened between J.D. Vance and his wife. TMZ is going to be camping outside of Erica Kirk's crib. Like, we know this dude is coming over here tonight, right? Anyway, looking in the comments, Michael says she isn't wearing a ring. Really? Wow. Okay. I don't think JD Vance is gonna get rid of the wife. And I see James Harper. You said he just announced it. Who just announced it? Who just announced that? I got News Nation playing in the background. I'm not seeing or hearing any of this. Who just announced that JD Vance is going to be a bachelor? One of the Washington's most eligible bachelors. I have not heard that. Come on, JD Vance is married to an Indian woman. His children are mixed, just like Kamala Harris. No, his children are white. Kamala Harris is the one that's Indian and Jamaican. They're going to call JD Vance's kids white. That's all lies about Vance separating. Paul Griffin, until I hear otherwise, I agree with you. I asked the question, is JD Vance going to become Washington, D.C.'s most eligible bachelor? And in the comments, I can't see what the name here. Haploid says, hide your couches. Hide your sofa, hide your couches. Oh my God. Anyway, let me go back to the box. Duke Vader, I tried to bring him up. He was not able to come up, apparently. So we'll continue on with the one and only Jamaica Mix-Up. Good evening, Jamaica. With his power, he'd be stupid to ruin his marriage while VP. But would he? Ruining your marriage is not a good thing, but I mean, maybe it might give him, as many are suggesting, some sort of additional respect from MAGA. So let's say he gets rid of his wife, sends her back to India with a nice stipend, picks up Charlie Kirk. All of a sudden, MAGA gives him all of the power that, gives him about 80, let's say 70% of the love and adoration of Trump. J.D. Vance is never going to be Trump. But let's say he gets the right wife and presents the right image and he becomes at least 70% of Trump. That might be worth trading spouses, depending on who you talk to. Going back to the box, we'll go to Mike. Having problems bringing up a few folks. The Heritage Foundation wants him to leave his wife. Based on what, HV? What evidence do you have that the Heritage Foundation wants J.D. Vance to leave his wife? Mike, good evening. That sounds diabolical. What am I missing?
I don't see anything that confirm it, but I see a ton of stories out there about on Newsweek or USA Today, Daily Beast, about her not wearing her ring.
Maybe she, it might have been.
Maybe she's getting it clean. Maybe she's getting it.
Yeah, it might be at the jewelry shop. Who knows? Something.
Now, that's what I just said. But I also told you that before midterms, they wouldn't be together no more.
That's only a year. That's less than a year now.
When that photo came out, Tim, you go back and check your lives. I can find the date for you and send it to you. I told you this shit would not last 2 midterms.
I do remember you saying it, but I don't know. I mean, she's not.
So you know what, Tim? Sometimes you come off like you do anything for $1.
Shit, I'm not getting the motherfucking dollar,
I'm just saying.
I'm not actually getting the dollar. God damn it.
Sometimes you come off like you might, you might do anything for a couple of bucks. You might throw your ass in a circle for a Klondike bar. Sometimes you come off like that. I'm not saying you would. I'm just saying.
Listen. Let me be clear. I like money just like the next man. There's certain things I might do, certain things I won't do, but I do have a line. There's certain lines I won't cross. I give you a perfect example. I've had a host of folks come and tell me that if I hosted a program with the same mindset of, let's say, Officer Tatum or Candace Owens, I could make a hell of a lot more money. I absolutely believe that is true. There's nothing better for MAGA than to have a person of color bashing people of color. I have a line. I won't do that. A guy at Fox, I used to talk. A lot of folks have told me that. I won't do
So
that.
there's not a number. So there's not a number.
Ooh.
I see.
Woo.
See, here's what. See,
I don't want to do it. Let me just say it like this. Probably not, because it gets to the point where not only would I be alienated from all of my family, your safeties. I don't think I'd want to do it. I don't think I'd want to do it.
I'm just saying, sir. I'm just saying. When I asked you money, you went ooh.
Well, shit. Nobody says you want to be on the radio. There's not a number. I mean, look, are we talking about Rush Limbaugh numbers? I mean,
I'm talking about like I'm talking about seven figures. I'm talking
I
about.
don't. You know something? Let me just say it like this. Even if I want the money, I don't think I could do it justice or do it properly, because I don't feel. I mean, I'm saying stuff that I know ain't true. I don't feel it. I don't think I could do it right. I don't think I could host a show like this where it actually works organically, because I'm saying a bunch of shit that I don't feel. And I think sometimes when I cross the line on here, some of you guys can sense it here. It would be a whole show of that.
Well, I appreciate your candor. I just cleared it up for the 168 people. He wouldn't throw his ass in the Orient for a little change. There you go.
I might do something strange for a little change, but I do have a line.
Yeah, you do have a line.
I do have a line.
That's cool. So listen. So back to the JD Vance thing, real quick. Nothing would surprise me with this administration, and I believe that that's where that's headed. I believe that
getting rid of the old lady, huh?
I 100% believe that that's where that's headed. I'm not wishing it on him. I'm just looking at the tea leaves. He came out again yesterday and said he wishes that she would change her religion. Just yesterday.
I mean, she's pretty. I mean, listen, I get that. I get that they don't. They may not agree. I guess they say you have to be equally yoked or whatever they say in religion. So. That is interesting. If you're very religious and your partner is a totally different religion and they're very religious too, there could be some conflict to that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just telling you, it's back in the news again as of 14 hours ago. So, and the funny thing, he converted to Catholicism in 2019. That's the funny part about this shit. 2019 is when he converted. Is there some timing associated with that? Yeah, the Heritage Foundation needed him to be a Christian, and he converted. Listen, Tim.
So you sound like you're saying that JD Vance is for sale.
Okay, 1,000%. Yes. Now, why do I say that? Everything that
Erica ain't bad looking either, though. Go ahead.
She ain't bad looking. But everything that he said about Donald Trump before he started supporting Donald Trump, he called him a fascist. He called him a schmatzi. All those things, and then he did a 180.
Yeah,
right.
But that's politics, though.
No, that's not politics. Tim, listen.
Wait a minute, Mike. All the shit that Mamdani said about Trump, and here he is in the office smiling with the man.
That's politics. But here's the thing. But he did not do a 180 about what he said about him before.
No, well,
you understand what I'm saying? I mean, it's one thing to say things, and then because they all do. But I'm saying this: JD Vance said all the things about Trump that you've heard me say. Then he does a 180, right? He does a 180. Then the man changes his religion. Listen, I mean, shit.
You know what that remind me of? The dude who said,
"Good pussy to make you
yes,
religion."
Mama ain't what is it? Tell your mama I ain't never coming home again. The guy in Harlem Nights. It does remind me of that.
Sunshine. Yep.
Yes.
You're damn right. So that's what I'm saying, right? So you can tell we grew up with this. So I'm just looking at all the markers, right? You change your stance on Trump because you want privilege and power. You change your religion because you know you have to do that to get that privilege and power. And the last thing missing is what? Because let's be clear, Usha is not what the White Christian Nationalist Heritage Foundation wants on Tim.
Is that her name? What is her name?
Usha or Usha or Usha?
I don't even know what the fuck. You hear of her so little. I didn't know none of you know what her name was.
Exactly.
Well, but then again, listen, I didn't know, when Obama was president, I didn't know much about Biden's wife. I mean, you didn't see when he was vice.
No, yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. But again, at the end of the day, these tea leaves are not our doing. It's what they're putting out there. It's what's out there. And so,
are you sure? You sure it ain't the liberals just trying to do a hit job?
I don't really give a fuck who he fucks. But here's the thing. I don't really care. But at the end of the day, you got to make it make sense, Tim. There's a certain hug you don't give. There's a certain and Erica put it out there. I mean, listen, Tim, at the end of the day, they are who they are. They're willing to do whatever for power. All of them. They're willing to sell, they sold, and then most of them have already.
But I thought that was the reason we elected Trump, Mike, is that he can't be bought. He don't even take a salary.
Yeah, that was all bullshit. But these people will believe anything. Yeah, he's not taking a salary, but he's taking it out of Doge, or he's taking it out of IRS, or he got a fucking $450 million jet. Would you pass up your salary for $150 million jet? Would you pass up your salary?
Yeah, when you're only making $500,000 a year, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
When you know you can go in the coffers and take whatever you want, when you know you're doing insider trading, and which was already proven, that you're making deals behind the scene. Come on, Tim.
Let me ask you about the insider trading, because one of the things, I even say this all the time. Trump is never going to be. People want Trump to go to jail, and I always say all the time, he's never going to jail and all of this shit. He's going to ride, but because he got immunity and all. But the insider trading thing, they didn't give him immunity from that. I mean, obviously, the emoluments clause, he is a businessman while president. He is cashing in on some of the policies he's legislating. So is it possible that once he's out of the White House, charges could be pursued on that?
Tim, first of all, let me be clear. I don't, my faith in what will happen to Trump afterwards. Listen, Trump has done enough to be in prison 2 lifetimes over.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, he's 100% unethical. I mean, you can say whether it's criminal or not, he has not held up the ethics. He never even signed his ethics agreement. Do you know that?
How do you get away with that?
He just didn't fucking do it. I mean, listen, I'm not making this shit up. I mean,
how do you even get away with doing that?
Because they don't care. I don't know why I gotta keep telling you that. They don't give a fuck, Tim. And listen, if you think for a second they care about the Constitution, yeah, you put that picture up. Are you married, Tim?
We don't talk about those things around
here. Okay, cool. But that hug right there, we get your feelings slapped the fuck out.
Well, maybe she's a good friend. Maybe I got a wife that is somewhat,
Listen. If I'm hugging somebody like that, I'm banging that. I'm just letting you know.
Really? You think this hug is that passionate?
I'm keeping it a buck. All these men on here that say that that's innocent, or women, they pull. If a woman hugged me like that, I'd bang that out. Trust me.
Wow. I mean, listen, if she hugged me like that, I would certainly be thinking about it because I'm feeling titties and all. But at the same time, some people are just a little bit. I mean, Richard Simmons used to jump up on people. That don't mean he wanted to fuck you. I mean,
that doesn't mean he didn't either. What did you just say? Say that again? Use that analogy again.
I said Richard Simmons used to jump up on people like that. That don't mean he wanted to fuck you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You test that theory and get back to me.
I mean, well, he's dead. Thank you. He's dead.
Yeah, well,
But
find another one. Find another one.
I mean,
That's
look.
ridiculous.
Other than the fact that she has her hand on the back of his head, it's just a really tight hug.
Now, yeah, I know you can say whatever you want, but if you look at the comments, nobody in the comments agrees with you. And matter of fact,
They all liberals. Of course, they don't agree.
I know, and listen, any Republican that's okay with that, listen, I bet you won't get a man that's come up here and say that shit was okay with his wife in the room. If he does, tell him to turn his camera on.
I bet you most MAGA would watch Trump hug their wife just like this and then shake that man's hand before he left the crib.
That would mean that they're cult members. They probably would let him bang their wife.
Oh, well, that's different. That's different.
Well, you don't think so?
Handsome Sticky Finger says 1,000 points. Mike is right. Look, I mean, the hug looks challenging. I mean, the hug looks interesting, but I don't know. I mean,
and then she don't have a ring on and all that. Come on, Tim.
He's dead.
Huh?
He's dead. Oh, you mean his wife don't have a ring on?
I'm talking about his wife don't have a ring on.
Yeah.
They don't care. They don't care. But here's the thing. So you were talking about Mamdani today. I didn't see any of it. I've been running. I've heard. And did he call him a fascist in his face?
He actually was questioned by the media about, how he feels about after calling Trump a fascist. And he was stuttering, hesitating. And Trump said, go ahead, you can call me a fascist. Trump told him, don't worry about it. And he was like, yeah, that was it. They asked him, do you think that Trump is a fascist? And he was kind of hesitating. And Trump tapped him don't worry about it. Go ahead and say it. And he was like, yeah, and that was it. That was it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the comments. Everybody's saying, yeah, it would be a problem in their house with that hug. Just listen, Tim. It is what it is. But here's the thing. Mamdani is going to do. Mamdani is going to do what he has to do to go there. But do I think that I heard you earlier. By Thanksgiving, Trump will say something crazy. It might even be by tonight.
Well, Mamdani got to give him a reason to do it first, though, don't he?
No, he doesn't. Fuck, no, he doesn't. Do you think every tweet that Trump has had is because somebody said something?
Usually, it ain't got to be Mamdani said it, but maybe some right winger that he respects, he's responding to it. It's usually in response to somebody saying something.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody's saying something, and he wakes up in the middle of the night raging and shit. And just spouts. This shit won't last a week.
Did you? So you didn't see the interview with him and Mom? You didn't see any of this?
I didn't see it.
I want you to. We'll continue talking. This is only about a minute, but I want you to hear because President Trump starts. This is a genuine ass kissing coming from Trump that you don't normally see.
You're coming on the air with some breaking news. You are looking at live pictures right now out of the White House. You can see President Trump right there as our camera settled down, and you can see New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani standing there with him. The two have just met.
Thank you very much. We've just had a great meeting, a really good, very productive meeting. We have one thing in common. We want this city of ours that we love to do very well. And I wanted to congratulate the mayor. He really ran an incredible race against, a lot of smart people, starting with the early primaries against some very tough people, very smart people. And he beat them easily. And I congratulated him. And we talked about some things in very strong common, like housing and getting housing built and food and prices. And the price of oil is coming way down. Anything I do is
brag a little bit.
If I can get prices down, that's good for New York.
Big dog.
And we got them down, way down from last year. We have, as you know, I've been saying to a lot of people, Walmart said that Thanksgiving this year is exactly 25% less than last year. So that's good for New York, good for everybody. But I just want to congratulate. I think you're going to have hopefully a really great mayor. The better he does, the happier I am. I will say there's no difference in party. There's no difference in anything. And we're going to be helping him to make everybody's dream come true, having a strong and very safe New York. And congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
How about that?
What about it? Listen, Tim.
That's pretty good. It's coming from Trump. Do you normally see Trump do all of that? After calling the guy a socialist?
Listen, he wants something from him, just like he did from Eric Adams. Right? Hey, listen. and what I don't believe Trump is prepared for. He's prepared for this young movement of politicians. They're smart. They're savvy. If you think Mamdani is not sitting there playing the cards that he needs to play, then you're crazy. He knows how to handle this dude. He's supposed to, first of all, he's showing him the respect he's showing him.
You think you said Mamdani knows how to handle this dude? You're saying Mamdani is playing chess on Trump?
Yep, 100%.
Who the hell's ever done that?
Most people. Putin is. Well, hold on. Putin is. We'll get back to Ukraine in just a second. Right, okay. Listen, I think he's playing chess, and Trump is playing, because what is Trump going to say to him right now? He going to attack him? I mean, it's one of the biggest economies in the country.
As Denkel pointed out, my first caller, Denkel stated that, Trump is the one that controls the federal purse, and don't go the other way around. He made it clear that Mamdani is the one that's got to bow down to Trump, not the other way around. You seem to disagree.
No, I don't think he's going to have to necessarily bow down. He did what he was supposed to do. I'm talking about Mamdani. He did what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to stand up there. He was supposed to be presidential, and he has a large audience in New York. He has a very diverse population.
You don't told everybody that this man is a fascist and he's promoting genocide, and now you up here smiling with him. Give me your take on Ukraine, because I'm about to move it on. So what is your take on what's going on over there?
Do you remember that email that came out that said Putin wants to know where the pics are?
Putin wants to know what?
When Putin was asking, do they still have those photos of Donnie and Bubba?
Yeah. So you going full circle. So you do believe that Putin has something on Trump, blackmail material.
1,000%. I told you that from the day I met you. Yes. And he is, and Trump has shown, even though he may come and say one thing, Trump has never shown me any. He's never taken a strong enough stance with Putin up to this point, Tim. Even if he says we're going to sanction him, now he's telling the Ukraine, you better give it all up. What do you think happened, Tim? Why do you think he went from sanctioning Russia to, hey, Zelensky, you better give it all the fuck up? Why do you think, Tim?
Hell, he wants to meet his promise of ending that war. I don't think he ever gave a damn about Zelensky to begin with.
I agree, but I'm saying to you, he gets in his own way, because when Putin says something, his ego takes over, and then Putin probably sends him a picture and goes, "Don't forget, motherfucker."
So don't forget. All about blackmail, huh?
Listen, okay, everybody that's in here, I just want everybody to just set their politics aside for a minute and just use your common sense. If I took pictures of your wife and put it all over the internet, Tim, how could you ever really trust me from that particular point again?
Yeah, I don't have an argument for that. I don't have a counter for that.
He just sanctioned Russia. He just told Russia it would be very bad for them if they don't move. And then he turns around and he's telling Zelensky, hey, listen, on second thought, you didn't need to give the man what the fuck he wants. And why do you, listen, Tim, it's not what Putin said to Trump, because we know people say this stuff to Trump all the time, right?
Right.
People say stuff to Trump all the time. The only thing that would move Trump is a Trump card, pun intended, that he can't escape.
But I was told that, unlike Biden and the liberals, one of the benefits of getting Trump is that he is more respected worldwide than the Democrats are. You seem to be saying something different.
I think. Listen, let me further that statement. And you're right, Alter Ego. I didn't say it was on the internet. I just used the internet as an example for you. But let me say this. If I had that dirt on you, Tim, are you trusting me to be an honest broker now? Are you trusting me to be the honest broker that I'm the only one that has that shit? Who else does Russia?
So based on what you're saying, then it's a good chance eventually we're going to receive that shit eventually, because otherwise Putin, once Trump is out of office, what are you going to just start doing? Making Trump give him payments out of his own account?
Well, it's not even about the money. See, this is what I'm saying though. For Putin, this isn't about money for him per se. He has enough leverage on Trump. He can say, you're going to give me Ukraine, and you're going to shut the fuck up about this, and you're going to shut the fuck up about that, and I'll leave you alone about that. What is happening right now?
he is willing and dealing Trump. There's no argument to that. There's
He
no
just laid out
argument
the
to
red
that.
carpet for him. He got our military out there on their hands and knees, straightening the red carpet for him. He's shaking it. He's giving him applaud. He's in the back seat of the limo. Come on, Tim. Come on, Tim.
I'm not 100% with you, but I'm up there. I mean, it does on for all intents and purposes, it does look like there is some reason why Trump does not follow through on his threats with Putin. Because this is what they told the left when Obama made the red line in the sand in Syria that he was a pussy because he didn't carry out his threats. Trump has made like a half a dozen threats to Russia, and they haven't bowed down to any of them, and he hasn't carried out any of his threats. So it does make him look weak on Russia.
Yeah, he looks weak on Russia, and it's going to get weaker and weaker and weaker. And don't think that people in Trump's orbit that know other stuff won't leverage that shit either. I think Marjorie Greene Taylor knows shit. I think Laura Loomer knows shit. I think Laura Boebert knows. I think there's a lot of people in his orbit that know shit. I do.
Wow. That's going to be a whole lot of people. That's going to be hard to keep all them people quiet. Mike, I got to move it on, right. But we're going to have a hell of a 3 years then, are we not?
I don't think it's going to be 3 years. I think midterms, it's a wrap.
Is there anybody that believes this man is going to finish his term on the left? I got people.
I don't think. First, I just don't think it's going to last because all of this can't last. Tim, listen. We got the Apple Dumpling Gang running the government. We got the Three Stooges and the Stooges running the government. Tim, that shit ain't gonna last. Tim, it's not gonna last. We just hope that. I hope that we don't have military personnel unalive because of it. I just listen, and U.S. citizens not unalive because they keep messing with these cartels.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man. I didn't told you what I think about that.
I tend to agree. Once you start treating the cartel as terrorists, you kind of give them a no-win situation. I mean, fuck it. We might as well do something. He gonna kill us anyway. Now he's over here in our homeland doing it. So, I mean, you don't leave him with any other option but to fight back.
Might as well send a couple bad batches of that booger sugar over the border and let you deal with it over there.
Jesus, that would be bad. That could be really bad.
That would be horrible. But what else are you asking them to do?
If they retaliated by sending over a batch of toxic narcotics where people are getting high and they're dying and there are people laying in alleys and shit, we would probably declare war on whatever country that was. The country, not just the cartel. Trump would probably invade that whole country.
But how would you track it? You couldn't trace it.
The people that are here dying are going to just keep dying. I'm just simply saying we would go and occupy whatever country that was. Try to make sure no more new shit is coming in.
But my point is, we're making so many enemies. You don't know where that shit's coming from.
Yeah.
If another country like China, where does a lot of the F drugs come from, Tim?
That's an act of war, though, Mike. You think China would do that?
Tim, I'm telling you, this idiot is not thinking. He's playing fucking Connect Four. These motherfuckers is playing chess, Tim. Listen,
that's an act of war. Mike, I'm not disagreeing. That's an act of war. If you deliberately send over a batch of tainted drugs to America and you got young white girls, college girls dying and shit in the back of clubs and stuff like that, and that's an act of war, man.
But if you're coming to take me out and my people out and have no regard for my people in my country, you see what the cartels do to their own people over there, Tim. Yeah. You think they gonna give a fuck about us?
That's dark. I don't disagree with it. When you really orate it, I don't disagree with it. I gotta move on, but that is frightening, man. That is because that could easily be done. That is one way the cartel could easily kill thousands of Americans. Just simply go after or target the folks who like recreational drugs, take their shit and it's over with. That could easily happen by the thousands. That's frightening. I gotta move on, Mike. Appreciate it. That's really scary what he's talking about, because if they want to do that, it's almost impossible to stop, because the what do you want to call it? The junkies are hooked to the shit. So even if there is some ongoing message from the government that you need to be careful, that there are bad drugs, the junkies are going to keep trying shit because they need to get high. So you would find no shortage of people to kill, basically. That is absolutely possible to do that. That is absolutely possible. That would be a method of warfare that America has never experienced. People will be laying out everywhere. That's horrible. Let me go back to the boxing. Like I said, I don't think it would be hard for them to do it. I think Gangsta Grandma would officially take you out. This is if I was to do a right wing program like Candace or Officer Tatum. Handsome Steve Finger says he thinks Gangsta Grandma would officially take me out. She's been threatening to choke the shit out of me since we first started talking. And maybe something else, I wouldn't wish that on you. Thank you, Sticky Fingers, for not wishing that on me. Tim, you mean the world to us, mostly to me. Thank you. Appreciate that. We got to get Gangsta Grandma and calm her down. We got to figure out what it takes. Maybe give her a hug like Charlie Kirk gave Erica. I don't know. Let me go back to the box. His pillows are all orange and covered with bite marks. What the hell? People should be able to do whatever they want as long as it doesn't harm or affect others. I don't totally disagree with that, but oftentimes when you're doing whatever the hell you want, it is some way, somehow affecting others. Like people say, prostitution. You should be able to do what you want. It doesn't affect others. Well, it does affect others. The traffic, there's all kinds of other crimes involved with it, STDs. I mean, it does. I mean, so most things you do that you don't believe is affecting others, it ultimately does affect others. Looking in the comments here, I see you there, Maga Reacts, grocery shopping. Let me go back to the box. The one and only DJ Julio. Good evening, DJ. Welcome to the program. Long time no
How are
hear.
you?
I'm good. I'm doing good. So it's good to have you back on. Now I want to take you right into the conservative bastion. Is JD Vance gonna step out on his old lady?
No.
So Erica Kirk is not that attractive to him.
Listen. First of all, hugs are hugs. That hug with Prince Charles, whatever his damn name is, that's a defensive hug.
This
Yes,
right
that's
here,
a
this on my screen, as Cat Williams would say, this shit right here, this is a defensive hug.
That's a defensive hug.
What is she trying to defend herself from? No dick?
So a long time ago, because I was having kids and they were all girls, I had to go through some parenting classes.
Okay.
Long story short, they talk about putting your hand behind someone's neck like that, so if you have to push away, you can.
What?
Yeah, it's just a way. It's just a form of a hug. It's not a good hug. It's not a bad hug. It's a hug.
So she's hugging the vice president and taking it.
It's just the way that with all the attention she gets because of Charlie, or that she got because of Charlie, it's just probably how she started hugging people so she could control her body language. It's all it is.
I have never heard it described that way. So this is a defensive hug just in case she has to push away from the vice president?
That's not what I'm saying, Tim. It's what I'm saying, but it's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying she's worried about having to push away from the president. I'm just saying that's how she's been taught to hug. That type of a hug is a defensive hug. It's also a sensual hug.
I have never heard what you're describing. Mike, Mike says the idiot. He said the idiocy's back. Listen, so let me ask you the question. What some folks have asked me: would you be okay with your spouse hugging someone in this manner?
Listen, in my line of work and in her line of work, we get hugged all the time. It's just a fucking hug.
And they hug you like this? I mean, he got two hands. He got two hands around that waist.
Fucking hug, people.
I mean, I gotta say,
it's just a hug.
I got a shot. I mean, look at he got two hands. He's gripping all of that. So this is just a normal hug.
It's just a hug. She's probably, I don't know what, 6 inches shorter than him. Everything about that looks appropriate.
Man,
she's saying something to him. He's saying something to her. It's probably loud where they're at.
Shit, can you hug her any tighter than that? God damn, he got a handful of hair. That actually, I'm getting turned on.
I don't know. I think the problem, maybe the problem with the left is y'all don't get enough hugs. You take hugs, but you don't give them.
I mean, I get hugs, but it don't normally get like that. I mean, I gotta say, just watching this shit is kind of turning me on. But go ahead.
You gotta love the people. Then you gotta love the people you're hugging. You gotta care about the people you're hugging. Now, if they weren't friends,
they're probably not hugging that way. She's probably going to put her hand more on his shoulder, like right on the front of his shoulder when she hugs him. That's just everybody reads so goddamn much into this administration, trying to find something to be pissed off about. Well, the problem fucking is, people, you fucking suck. All of you suck. You can't find shit on this administration. You never will. You never have. Nothing sticks.
I don't know about that, DJ Julio. I'll say that nothing sticks, but I won't agree with you that they didn't find shit. It's just he found ways to get out of it. They found stuff on the administration.
And nothing that was bad.
I think his claims on the election in 2020 was bad. He just found a way.
That's right. I still think that's right.
Okay, so they found that. That was bad.
I mean, there's some things they found, I suppose.
All right. So I mean, he just found a way to finagle his way out of it. I mean, the 34 felonies. If he hadn't won, whether you agree with the felonies or think they're a witch hunt, but regardless of how you feel about it, they had 34 actual confirmed felonies on him. He was going to be sentenced for that. He would have probably, at the very least, did a little bit of jail time and paid a hell of a lot of fines. He was going to go down for that.
No, he was never going down for that. You can't go.
He
down
already
for
went
it.
down for it.
Innocent.
You
if
gotta.
You're innocent. You can't. If he was guilty, Tim, he'd be in jail.
He's not in. Oh shit! Hang on. He's not in jail because he became president, and they dropped all that shit.
Oh, so he was a felon 34 times, and they thought, fuck it, he won. You think our justice system works like that?
So you're telling me that if Trump had not won the presidency, he would just have 34 felonies out there and they wouldn't have done nothing to him?
He'd still be a free man because he's fighting every one of those. And until those appeals are done, the sentence can't commute.
And I don't think he would have won all of those. I really don't. But I see the comments.
He's still winning it. They're done. They're gone. Everything is gone. They didn't have anything to take him down on. Seriously, if you think that they're going to, the establishment, if you will, or the justice system, are going to let this man walk when they can hang the most freaking powerful man in the freaking free America, they're going to.
Thank you there, big dog. Thank you. No, listen, I agree with you that they wanted to hang the guy. I think the problem is no, I don't think it's a matter of them not being able to do it. I think the issue is they treated him with the respect that a president should get. And if they had the chance to do it again, those cases would move faster. Jack Smith, Merrick Garland, all of them would have moved a lot quicker. They gave him an out. But eventually, even at the rate they were doing that, if he didn't win the presidency, he would have paid the price on some of that shit. The fake electors, when he got the mugshot down in Georgia, he wasn't going to beat that. He was not going to beat that.
Apparently he did. He's not in jail, and he doesn't seem to be ever going to go to jail.
Yeah,
listen. They're going to say and put across. And if you guys still believe all of the media, and I'm not saying Fox and the right wing media doesn't fucking inflate some shit or reword things so it sounds better. I'm not saying that we're perfect on our news side either. News is freaking fallible, and it has been for the last 10 years, for sure. The last 10 years.
It probably a lot longer than that, but certainly for the last 10 years. But I totally disagree with you that he would not have been facing some jail time had he lost the election. I think they were going to go after that guy. Certainly with the way he would have been trolling in the background, saying all kinds of negative shit about Kamala or whoever won. I definitely think they would have went after him, and they would have gotten him.
I agree 50% of that. I don't think they would have ever gotten him. If they would have gotten him, they would have gotten him before the election. They wouldn't have let the stall taxes. Judges have all control over the schedule of your trial. Yeah. They don't. Let me say this. They have the final say, not the all control. They have the final say on your scheduling for trial.
Yeah, what I'm saying is,
they had a strong case. They wouldn't have let Trump stall as much as he did.
Well, if they knew that Trump was going to become president and get all those charges dropped, I really don't think they would have let him stall the way they let him do. That's what Trump didn't win because he's innocent. He won because he stalled until the clock ran out. That's what helped him win. We never know what Jack Smith actually had because all of that disappeared when Trump became president. Same thing with the Fonnie Willis stuff. We don't know what all he had down in Georgia because it disappeared when he became president. We do know he was convicted in New York of those 34 felonies. Would that have resulted in 0 time served? No fine, nothing at all. I don't buy that. I don't buy that. Not to mention his ability to operate as a businessman would have been greatly reduced because of all of that stuff.
Yeah, and you have some solid points for your hypothesis. 100%.
Didn't they stop his children from being able to do business in New York because of some of that stuff?
For a short period of time.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, I do know.
That would happen to me or you if we were facing some shit. If I was doing some shit in business, and then all of a sudden the state was like, "Nah, I don't think so, Mr. Haran," and then all of a sudden, now my business has to stop. Well, if my kids work for me, then they have to stop too. So that's just part of the legal process. And when the legal process breaks down and he's found vindicated of all of these crimes, well, now they can work again.
Yeah. I'll just say this. Chances are if you or I were facing what Trump was facing, we wouldn't be talking shit about the judge, giving out people's addresses. A lot of the perceived witch hunt against President Trump was him acting like a fool in court, acting like a fool outside of court, just pissing off people that have some say-so on whether or not you get charged. If you get pulled over by a cop and you start saying all kinds of shit to the cop, you're probably going to get more tickets than you originally were going to get. He's been very disrespectful to the system. So you're going to get more shit thrown at you for doing that.
And I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, there are consequences.
As passionate as I might be about, this administration and the direction that we're going, I believe it's all headed where it's supposed to be. I don't think we want to be the world's police anymore. We want to be the strongest in the world, but we don't want to police everybody.
Are you seeing that from this administration? We're in Venezuela. We've bombed Iran. Are you seeing that from this administration? He's talking about everything from taking back the Panama Canal to taking over Greenland, making Canada the 51st state. Are you really seeing America first?
I am seeing America first.
What is your definition of America first?
Well, let's see. If you break into China without going through the proper channels, you're dead or in prison for life. If you break into a number of European countries without permission, you're gone. You're sitting for a long ass time. Your vacation is over.
So what are you trying to say?
You bring drugs into America, Trump has drew the line in the sand. The Gulf of America is not your passage for drugs anymore. If you come through this passage, you're not going to make it to our borders.
But how do you know that they are bringing drugs to America?
How do you know they're not?
Because most of the world is saying that Venezuela does not produce fentanyl. Even Rand Paul is saying it. You got members of the Republican government that are even saying, have you ever heard of Venezuela being the drug capital? I mean, Colombia, Peru, Guatemala. You've always heard these other countries. I've never heard of Venezuela being a country that's pumping a bunch of drugs into America. Mexico, Venezuela?
We don't know. Listen, from what I've seen on both sides of the news,
mm-hmm.
None of those boats had fishermen in them. None of those boats had anybody that wasn't military age. Every one of those boats had people military age, fighter age.
Yeah, but DJ Julio, most boats at sea have men on them. I mean, if you take out a fucking cargo ship, chances are most of the people on it are men. The ships that hunt crabs and shit, all of them are men. I mean, fishermen, that is a male-dominated business. I mean, no matter what you take out at sea, if you take out a military vessel, most of the people on it are going to be men. You just don't have a lot of women that do that.
100%, but where are the fishing poles? There was none of that on the thermal imaging that we got. None, Tim. There was nothing. There was big bundles of square bales in there if it was full of something.
Well,
and just because the words come out, fentanyl and all these other drugs, and fentanyl's the first word that's used because fentanyl's the drug of the century right now. The talk of the town.
Right.
doesn't mean that they weren't bringing over tons of booger sugar, tons of other illicit shit that shouldn't be in the United States coming that direction.
I got two.
You can't stop the illegal drug trade unless you shoot it in the water. Or stop it at the border.
Actually, if you incarcerate the people, you can stop it just as much as murdering them.
Oh my God. I'm tired of paying taxes for fucking jails, Tim. I don't want to put any more money towards privatized jails.
You really are making a case that to save money, you'd rather kill people? You're killing people to save tax money?
If I kill 17 people and it stops 100,000 people from coming, I did a good service.
You brought up tax money.
I applaud the administration.
You brought up tax money. You didn't bring up. You literally brought up it's cheaper to kill them.
Okay, and let me explain that then. The tax money. You said incarcerate them. Okay, the drugs make it here. They make it to their suppliers. The suppliers give it to their dealers. The dealers give it to their dealers. Now all these different people are getting caught with these drugs, going to jails, and now we have to pay taxes for them to be in fucking jails. It costs us roughly, I want to say $45, maybe it's $25 in South Dakota a day to incarcerate somebody. I Google it. You can just do your little Google and say, what does it cost an American taxpayer a day to incarcerate?
You know, DJ, and I see in the comments, he has some stuff you think says that DJ Julio is delusional, and also many women are going to disagree. You don't know what you're talking about. He's talking about the hug. But I will say this, when you talk about the cost of incarceration, if the cost of incarcerating people mattered to us taxpayers, we wouldn't lock everybody up for every damn little thing. So the idea, well, we don't want to incarcerate them because it costs a bunch of money to incarcerate. We lock people up for any fucking thing in this country. So we've never cared about how many people have spent time in jail for simple offenses like weed. We've always locked people up. We never cared about how much it cost.
Right, which goes back to me saying if we want to stop the illegal drug trade, we got to stop the drugs from coming.
You believe those boats can do 1,700 miles in open sea?
I've seen videos and documentaries of smaller boats doing that same trip.
1,700 miles. I would like to see those videos without refueling.
Any documentary you see that talks about drugs, 100%. They used boats. They've used planes. They can't use planes anymore because they got black boxes in them. And if they don't got black boxes in them, they come down anyway.
1,700 miles, Julio. You really see those boats being able to make that trek in open sea?
I do.
Just like you asked, if they're supposed to be fishermen, where are the fishing equipment? I'm going to ask you on that same line, if they're supposed to be drug dealers, where are the drugs?
The bottom of the ocean now.
Maybe the fishing equipment. Maybe the fishing equipment is there too.
You look at the thermal image that they put all over the damn news. Slow it down. Pay attention to it. You can see guns in the boat. You can see other stuff in the boat, but you don't see a single fishing rod.
The point of, well, maybe the fishing rods are there because the boat is in motion. They're not fishing at that time.
Image, that's such bullshit. Everything's an AI image. The meeting behind you right now is an AI image. If that's what you're trying to say, come on.
I'm not claiming it's an AI. So right now, let me ask you this, because we haven't talked in a while. You said you like the direction that Trump is delivering. Right now, a letter grade, like we did in high school, A, B, C, D, or F. You've had him almost for a year. What letter grade would you give him so far?
Honestly, I'd give him probably a C plus B minus.
So slightly above average. What has he done? Give me three things he's done that's really good. Campaign promises or whatever.
I like the fact that he's put an end to or stopped from them even starting 9 different wars. I like that things have slowed down over in Ukraine. They haven't stopped. I didn't say they stopped.
I don't know.
They've slowed down.
Give me something else. Give me the third one.
And I like the tariffs. I really hope that they're doing what I think they're doing with it. I really hope that it's going to work, because I agree 100%. You're going to get taxed if we're going to get taxed.
Okay, based on what you gave me, stop 9 wars, the Ukraine-Russian war slowed down somewhat, and then the tariffs. I don't see where any of this stuff. First of all, the 9 wars is heavily disputed by many of the countries he claimed he stopped from warring. So the 9 wars he claimed he ended, I think that is flat out false. I don't. Okay, but if and by the way, that's not America first. You said you wanted America first. He's doing shit. Everything you're naming, with the exception of the terrorists, is for people that's going to benefit people overseas. That don't even benefit you. You don't benefit from those 9 wars.
It 100% benefits us because when we get those countries stable, we don't have to send them as much money. That means we don't have to pay so much in.
He stopped sending money to those countries anyway. USAID was canceled.
Doesn't mean we stop sending money, Tim. That's just one program.
I don't know where Trump is sending a whole bunch of money to the Congo or the Pakistan.
Well, they haven't sent any money in the last 45 days to anywhere.
I don't think the nine countries Trump claims he stopped from warring. I'm not aware that the Trump administration was supporting sending money to any of them folks. So I don't know where you're getting that one from. In fact, somebody brought up Argentina. He's sending money to Argentina. They're not even at war. 40 billion. Is that America first?
Yeah, trying to help shut down the drug trade, Tim. That money goes to them to keep their borders clean from them taking drugs out of there, transporting to and from there.
Argentina?
From there to here.
So sending money to Argentina stops the drug trade?
Across the entire world, he is chasing this whole thing down, yes.
Out of the countries that are known for dealing drugs, Venezuela and Argentina are not even in the conversation generally. Why start there?
Probably because it's the ones that we can control. They're not that big yet.
So you're going to start at the bottom of the list because you can control them. Nobody is going to have a hard time getting high if you stop the drugs moving out of Argentina and Venezuela. It's not going to reduce the drugs in America whatsoever.
We'll see. I mean, you could be right.
So then why do it? It's a fortune.
I fail to see that it's senseless. But I mean, you're entitled to that. I'll give you that.
Venezuela. So you support sending 40 billion to Argentina?
I believe I am saying that. I don't recall anything bad about the 40 billion that they were talking about.
Okay, in regards to the America First, when do we get to the point where we can say we're doing things for actual Americans? 40 billion is a lot. That could help out a whole lot of SNAP recipients or people that actually have an American birth certificate. When do we get to the point where we're helping out Americans?
Take that SNAP program away.
How does getting rid of SNAP help Americans?
Because then you put only the people that need it on it. The people that are able to go out and get jobs can go out and get fucking jobs.
I don't see how that's helping.
Well, listen, if I just give you money, Tim, if I just give you money all day, what are you going to learn? You're going to learn that as long as I'm giving you money, you're happy.
Is that what
I'm not teaching you anything about how the fucking world works, what it costs to actually be out here and to work at a company or run a business or raise a family or own a house or own 2 houses.
Is that what you actually believe, that most SNAP recipients are choosing not to work to get a couple $100 of food stamps per month?
Yeah, I am.
You would quit. Who the hell would quit an actual?
People, because every one of us in here knows somebody who's milking the system because they can.
Who the hell would quit an actual job to get $200? You don't get no rent. You're not getting any utilities. You're getting $200 or whatever the hell it is in food. You really believe people will quit their job for that?
You know how many people actually only get $200 a month? Most of it's like 6 or 7 or 8, upwards to $1,000 a month.
If you are a single woman or a single man, you're not getting no $1,000 a month. They're not giving you that kind of money.
Well, if you're by yourself, no. But most people that are on SNAP, I assume most people that are on SNAP are on it because they're trying to take care of their kids and feed their kids.
So the person
you can't tell me without a smile on your face or with any conviction in your heart that you don't know 5 or 6 people that are abusing the system, whether it's food stamps, rental assistance, mortgage assistance, some kind of assistance, Medicaid, Medicare.
But
You can't tell me you don't know five
you're saying so much shit that I disagree with. I've been trying the whole interview not to smile because you said so. Let me ask you now. You said that you believe that most SNAP recipients are they do have children. So the question I'm going to ask is, okay, let's say mom is not working and you want to get everybody off SNAP to make them work. You do realize by doing that you're also punishing those kids that have nothing to do with this. You're okay with that?
I'm not okay with a parent not doing everything they can to provide for their child.
But you're okay with taking them off of SNAP so that the child doesn't have anything to eat.
You think that mom's going to go to work to feed that child? You
No.
think that dad? I mean, it's not always a mom. I mean, you think that dad's going to go to work to feed that child? Going to figure life out?
Are you going? Do you even have the empathy to be concerned with it?
If they don't figure it out, is it on them or is it on me to make sure they figure it out?
Well, the fact is,
you're talking like you want socialism, you want communism, you want the government to take care of all of it, so you don't have to worry about shit anymore.
I want people to eat without somebody thinking that everybody that needs help is trying to rip off the damn system. How about that? That's all I want. You're ignoring all these fucking billionaires. You're ignoring $40 billion that's going, but the person that's getting a few $100s a month, that's the guy you want to focus on, or the woman you want to focus on. I think you're doing it backwards.
But Tim, my tax dollars don't go to the billionaires. My tax dollars go to those people getting my tax dollars go to those people on programs.
Your tax dollars you
go
don't
to the roads. My tax dollars go to the jails.
Who do you think is giving the money to go to Argentina?
We are.
All right then. Your tax money is going to billionaires. That's going
it's probably coming out of the Doge dividends, or the tariff money. It might not even be us. I guess I don't know that much about that. I'm going to do my due diligence, and I'm going to look into that, and maybe I'll have a better argument next time I jump on.
Yeah,
I don't have a big argument for Argentina.
Every time you hear about a permanent tax cuts for billionaires, that's your tax money funding that. Every time you hear your side argue that minimum wage increase is wrong and we should not increase minimum wage, that person that's working a full-time job and not making enough to feed their family, they go and apply for SNAP or EBT or food stamps or whatever because the money they're making is not enough to feed them. You cover that. You subsidize the remaining half of what they need. Your tax money's covering all that shit. So if I got a major business and thanks to you, I don't have to pay my employees a more in minimum wage, or I don't have to give them health care because you're supporting that, then that employee that I'm not paying worth of shit is going to go to the government and ask for help to subsidize my low salary. That's coming out of your pocket. The health care they get, the additional money, the food, you're paying for all of that to make me richer. You are doing that.
But you getting richer, you're also paying your portion of your income tax.
I'm paying.
You're paying your portion of your excise tax. You're paying your portion of your unemployment tax, of your workers' comp tax.
But you're also supporting a tax cut for me also.
Right, so I can afford to do those things and you can still have a job.
All right, Julio.
I mean, I don't feel for a second that I'm wrong. I mean, I did it. Me and my wife did it. 26 years me and my wife been together. I got a 27-year-old, 28-year-old, 25-year-old, 18-year-old.
Are they conservatives?
No, they are not.
Thank God. You raised them right, even though you didn't try to. I got to move it on, Julio.
They are right-leaning liberals, though.
Right-leaning liberals. So they moderates.
They understand that if they get out here and they want to live in this world, they got to go out there and earn this world.
I think where you guys get it wrong, Julio, is the people that you are treating like shit, they are out there trying to earn. But you are also in favor of legislation that makes it harder to earn enough to get by. That's the point we're making. They're not sitting on their asses and choosing not to work. They're going to work and you're making it harder for them. Give you the last word.
I'm not against a wage increase. I'm not against raising the minimum wage.
But you vote for people that are.
I'm not against that. Yeah, but they run businesses bigger than mine, and I understand why they're doing it. That's the difference.
Then you might as
the
well be.
Difference is if I need more money, I'm going to work more.
Okay.
I've said this to you a long time ago.
Okay,
You're
not against. You're saying you're not against this stuff, but everything you're doing helps promote it. Okay, I'm not against it, but I understand they run a business and all. Then you might as well be in favor of it. You're doing everything to promote those who are in favor of it.
Well, then I'll just go ahead and say that. Yeah, I mean, if it's going to make people accountable for themselves in the long run with some suffrage along the way, I'm down. Let's do it.
DJ, it's good to hear from you again. Don't be a stranger.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I'm sure about it. We don't agree on shit. We never did. We never did. But it was always good to talk to you.
You too.
Good to hear from you again. All right, appreciate it. Moving on with the program. By the way, tap the screen. Gets on over the $100,000. Mike says my brain hurts. Mike, that wasn't easy. It was good to hear from Julio again, though. I ain't talked to him in a while. Real quick in the comments, Julio has been hanging around MAGA Reacts too long. Actually, I think Julio may predate MAGA Reacts. He just hasn't been on the program in a while, but Julio was a regular guest. We need to get Julio back on. I love hearing from my MAGA. I don't agree with him on a lot of things, particularly that last phone call, but MAGA is always welcome on the program. And I think Julio predates MAGA Reacts. Anyway, Julio has been hanging around MAGA Reacts too long. Very delusional. Tariffs are not working. That was another one. 200 food productions. There is no America first. Yeah, I'm going to say, based on what I've seen out of Trump, almost a quarter of his term is over. I'm not seeing America first. I'm not seeing it. I see that only America first policy I suppose I could go with is he is protecting the border so we know who is here. That I guess that's America first. But in terms of actually helping out Americans, how? If you're going to get rid of all of the social programs or greatly limit them, make them harder to access, and then you're going to fire a lot of American workers that are working in American jobs, federal government, things like, where's the America? Where's the part where Americans are benefiting? I'm not seeing it. Somebody can help correct me. Now, that's not to say that he may not become an America first president. Still got 3 years left. But I'm simply saying right now, I'm not seeing it. And my last guest pointed out the tariffs. I don't see where Americans are like, damn, this is great that these tariffs were imposed. It's made the cost of beef go way down. Or I can now do this. I can buy toys for my kids for Christmas at half the price. I'm not seeing that. So I don't see the America first, at least not yet. If it comes in the future, I'll be the first, even coming from the left, to point it out, but I'm not seeing it right now. Tap the screen, get us over 100,000. We'll take the next caller. The Fall of America by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Did he paint the fall of America similar to this? Because fact is, all empires do fall. They all do fall. And I think that if you're an outsider, particularly a dictatorship like China or North Korea or Iran, that has an interest in seeing America fall. To me, my humble opinion, our greatest weakness, capitalism. Capitalism. There's enough greedy people in the country that will sell out various aspects of the country to enrich themselves. I mean, China's bought a lot of territory in this country. Bought their way into a lot of companies. I mean, this is something that should not have been allowed. You're letting your adversary buy land and property in your country. So capitalism is a weakness. I know you like money. You do all kinds of shit. Is this not what Mike was just telling me? I told him I have a line I won't cross. There's a lot of people in the country that do not have a line they won't cross. A lot of wealthy, powerful people that'll do whatever. I mean, Trump is making allies out of some straight up enemies. Is he profiting from it? Many would say he is. I mean, he's making allies out of people that used to be on the FBI's terror watch list. All of a sudden, they're in the White House shaking his hands. You hear about some kind of multi-billion-dollar, gazillion-dollar deal. So this is the kind of stuff that can come back to haunt you, such as selling out a lot of American jobs to China because you could enrich yourself with the cheap cost of labor over there. Well, what ended up happening? The American employee has suffered significantly over the last few decades. Capitalism, that's the way you take the country down. Anyway, looking in the comments, He won't put a number on YouTube because Republicans would tear him a new ass. Won't put a number. I don't. If there was a way to put a number, catch. What is that? Says catch based on happiness. I'm assuming you fish or something. I would absolutely do that. Catch bass and be happy is your name. I would absolutely. If I could talk to MAGA all day, I would do that all day. In fact, when I'm not in my own live doing my own shit, I'm in MAGA oriented social media platforms. Anybody on TikTok can tell you that. So I don't run from MAGA because I think you're going to tear me a new ass. I run to MAGA hoping you make the attempt to do so. But there is no way to put a number like you're talking about. I would absolutely do it if I could. Looking in the comments, it's sad when people own 30 homes while a family can't afford to get into one single family home. That is depressing. But as I was telling my last caller, average, everyday working MAGA vote in favor of that stuff. They will tell you you should not be able to limit how rich a person can get or how many homes they can own, how much property they can own, even while struggling to maintain their own home themselves. That's the right votes for that. They are more apt at like my last guest, addressing the impoverished, but kind of just letting the wealthy do whatever they want. Let me go back to the bots. Thank you for getting your boy over 100,000. Going back, I don't know what happened. Gen X was talking about bringing them. I wanted to. We'll go to Gen X to see. I think this. If you can't afford a home in the USA, that is your fault. Nah, I don't know about that. Well, if I guess you could move somewhere, or you could get a trailer home. I mean, I guess there are options. How do you see that too, Jen? If you can't afford if you can't afford a home in America, that's your fault.
No, man. The same house, bro. These houses, you might have remember in the '90s, you paid 300, right? So they sold it. Now it costs 700. Now that same house you was paying that went from 300 maybe to 700 by 2019 to 20, man, you paying almost what 1600 for the same exact house. All they did was paint and did the vinyls and maybe they put a refrigerator in there, maybe.
Well, but what about the notion that folks will say, "Look, if I can do it, anybody can do it." I start, what does Drake say? Started from the bottom, now I'm here. Anybody can go out and get a job, get a little bit of education. I mean, some people believe that if you pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I was able to do it. Why can't you do it? And Miss Mobetta, I do see you. I just saw that. But yeah, I mean, what about the notion that anyone who puts in enough work should be able to get a home? So you're saying that that is just flat out false?
Yes, fuck. Come on, man. Yeah, come on, bro. This is. I'll give you what happened to me, man. I remember paying 600. It was a 2-bedroom. I had a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and I had a driveway. I had a yard, a backyard, and a little gate, little fence, right? A dude comes to me. He says, "Man, I sold the house. Great, okay, whatever. What's my new landlord? Oh, well, we're gonna evict you out. We're gonna, you got to go, right? Okay, I'm like, man, this is some bullshit. Okay,
but you're not talking about owning now. You're renting.
Yeah, I was paying rent,
okay,
right?
Yeah, I think he's talking about owning.
Yeah, but watch what they do. That same house, I went back 2 months later because somebody had moved in. I was going to check on some mail, and I said, "Man, I'm expecting something." I said, "It must have went to the other address." So I went over and it was like 9, nothing came over. I said, "Man, how much y'all paying for this?" This was 2 months later. That man said $1,100.
And you were paying how much?
$675.
That's capitalism, man. I'm gonna tell you I'll give you my own story. I'm on the other side of that. Now, I purchased a 2-flat. I don't know how many years. This has probably been 20 years ago when I used to own property in Chicago. And what I used to do is, it would be 2 3-bedroom apartments, one on top and one on the bottom. And I would temporarily live in the basement, and the rents would pay off the mortgage and then put a few $100s in my pocket. And I kept buying properties. I had 4 or 5 of them at one point, but I was buying them and doing that. Well, it was the same with me. I bought a place, I think back in 2000, I played in Chicago. I paid $186K for a 2-flat on the south side of Chicago. And the two tenants that were living in there were paying like $650 in each apartment. And my mortgage, I forgot how much it was, but I couldn't pay the mortgage and have a few $100s profit off of their $650. I had to raise their rents up to $800. I mean,
Right.
so you don't know the deal of how that person acquired the house, is what I'm saying.
Well, but we do know that you're not doing what. When I look at the house and I want to say, well, what did you do? Why is it? Why would I go from 6 to 11? And you're right. You don't know exactly what they did, but however, what's going on out here right now? We haven't even seen before. We haven't seen this many people hollering about they getting evicted. Oh,
Yeah.
and where like you're allowing corporations to buy property. Who can compete?
Yeah. And that's what's happening. Stuff like Airbnb, I mentioned the Chinese.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is the landlord that may have been renting to you for 600 and some odd bucks, all of a sudden with Airbnb and all kinds of other shit, he realized this property is worth way more than I thought it was. So he sells it now at the much higher cost that it's worth, and the next person that buys it cannot continue renting to you for $600, which is exactly what happened to me. I couldn't keep renting to them for that low. I had paid full retail to a woman who owned that property for like 20 years. She was able to have them in there that low.
Exactly. You done got your money back after 20 years.
Right.
You got your
Right.
You got your money. But and that's what the same thing with my dude. The dude that was owning it, man, they was old. You know what I'm saying? They was old folk. They got so many properties. It's stupid. It's a lot of people.
Well, let me ask it to you this way: what were other tenants when you were paying 600 and something to live there? Were other renters in the neighborhood paying something similar, or were you getting over for a bunch of years?
No, that's about it until this started happening. Around about what was that 2020? I'm in Kentucky, so the property value is different.
Yeah,
it's not going to be so
right.
that my 600, the same house in where you're at, might be 11 to 1200 easy. You see what I'm saying?
But that's capitalism. Let me ask you, what would you do if you were on a? What would you do to a renter like you if you were the landlord? Where you just purchase a property and the only way you could maintain it is to raise the rent up on someone like you? Would you do that? You're hesitating.
It's the fact that here's what we got to consider, and this is what I would say. When you talk about the thing, and this is what I'm saying, what did you do to the house? You painted, you maybe put a new toilet in there, you had, some cleaning. Blah,
but
blah,
you're
blah,
looking
blah.
at wait. You're looking at it from a guy who's paying 600 to you're looking at it from the same guy. Okay, to you, I'm paying 6 something. You got to do a hell of a lot to this place to make me want to give 1100. But the next guy ain't seen the place before. He might be willing to pay 1100 for what you in right now. That's what happens.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because it didn't take long. He had probably been in there. When I left, I think it might have been, and I had rolled past her maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks later. After they got it, it took them about 2 to 3 weeks to get it all. Because I didn't leave the shit.
And that's what's happening. And you're right. That is what's happening all over the country. And you're right. There's nobody can afford. Most Americans cannot afford for their rent to almost double like that. That's going to make a lot of people homeless.
And that's what's happening. Like a 1-bedroom here now is about 1,000, or close to it. Wow. And that's crazy here. Here, that's crazy.
In Kentucky.
You see what I'm saying? And I'm in the city part. You feel me? I'm in
So
Lexington.
do you think things would be better housing wise if Kamala Harris was in there?
I believe she would have tried. She would have made an attempt. She wouldn't have looked at the billionaires and said, "Hey, run your house." You know what I'm saying? Run amok around here. There you go. We got it, fellas. Let's go. She wouldn't have did that. She would have made some type of attempt.
Well, let's face it.
You know what? But I really want to talk about Mr. Julio, DJ Julio, and his level of ignorance, and him and other Republicans, how far their level of ignorance goes, and when it pertains to certain matters.
Okay, what do you got? What do you got?
We'll take the drug game with this whole Venezuelan thing, right? What cartel comes out of Venezuela? And when did anybody buy drugs I'm going to go from 1985 to right now. Who's buying drugs from Venezuelans?
I don't have a counter for that because I've often brought that up. We've watched a whole lot of drug dealing movies going all the way back to Scar. I think Scarface came out in the early '80s. I've never heard of Venezuela being mentioned as a major drug country. I've never heard that before.
Credit. I mean, I'm not on the West Coast, but if we all know, which they probably don't, your home is now the hub anyway. I'm not saying nothing. I'm not telling nothing that the FBI and the CIA don't know. Everybody knows. Chicago is now the central hub. It's the Midwest. It's been that way for a very, 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 very long time. They ain't been going through California for almost 20 to 30 years now.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I know Chicago has always got busy. I mean, I knew the cartel and everybody's had influence in Chicago.
You got I-75. You got I-75 and 64. Chicago, you can hit everything from the Midwest to the East Coast all the way to the South. Easy.
75? 75 don't go.
Yeah, that's what we on. We on I-75. I-75 can reach to the top of Detroit all the way to the bottom of Miami.
Okay, well, that goes because Chicago 65, I think, goes. So it goes up through Indiana. Even 55 goes into Chicago.
You can jump off 60. You can go. It is 64 to get to 65. Easy. You can hit everything. You can hit everything from right around this area in the Midwest. You hit everything, and it's so many different. The police can't really, you know what I'm saying? They can't really fix, but anyway, we won't go into all that.
But are you telling me something?
Now we start to tell, but everything else they do, I ain't told nothing. You know what I'm saying? They do all that shit.
You were starting to say a bit too much. All right, but listen, at the end of the day, though, I mean, we've always known Chicago gets busy, but I didn't know California was out of the game.
Yeah, because nobody's gonna go. They realize that, look, man, everybody's coming out here to get it for the cheaper price, but the money is over there, the South, the Midwest, and the East Coast. Especially once in the '80s, they cut that off at the Harbor back in the '80s, because at first the Dominicans was bringing it all in the early '80s. See what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about. Y'all don't really know.
You know a lot. You know a little bit too much.
I already know. But y'all don't understand the stuff. This is why when you listen to the stuff he's saying, for me, it's like, this is the dumbest shit I have ever heard in my life.
But let me ask you this way, because Bama Landscaper in the comments says it's coming out of Canada. What about that?
What? What? No. See what he's talking about. Like, when they come, right? They totally bypass the whole California coast thing because it's just too guarded. So what they do is sometimes they might go, because they're starting to use the submarines. They go around. They come from the top and then hit down. Boom, you start. So you say you go from the closest point would probably be they make it to Detroit. From Detroit, you ship down. Boom. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. So like Windsor is right. Windsor.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that is a very, very, very small portion. That's dealing with mostly like the certain pills.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because like they might, but they usually press them in Canada. And then they'll hit and ship them out in like, say, like Detroit. That's why if you go to the D, you get the pills are so cheap, it's ridiculous. That's the hub.
You know a lot. I got one of my viewers suggesting that there may be some dry snitching taking place. You know a lot.
Man, they dumb, and they don't know nothing, and they think they believe everything. That's why it's hard to sit and talk to anybody because they watch so much TV. Right? They watch so much TV, they like, oh man, you doing this, you doing that. Bruh, they've been doing this shit for the last 20 years. Mm-hmm. This is not new shit, what I'm saying.
So I'm gonna ask you what I've asked many guests. Then what the hell is this Venezuelan attack about then? If Venezuela is not the hub.
It's gotta be, here's what we do know Venezuela has. Oil. That's what we know they really got. That's their commodity. Dope, cartels, win.
Yeah.
Win.
Yeah. I'm buying what you're selling. I
Wait
do
a minute.
agree
I got
that, yeah, Venezuela's never been known as a major producer of
Hugo
narcotics.
Hugo Chavez. Ain't that his name? Wasn't that the president over there?
You
Hugo
talking about
Chavez.
yeah, Hugo Chavez? Yeah, yes.
He slaughtered them. Anybody come through her with dope or anything, slaughtered. Ain't nobody. The cartels don't even. How you gonna get? How do you get? How does Venezuela get around the Black Hand? How do they get around El Chapo? What Venezuelan cartel? Do y'all even know what the Black Hand is? Does anybody even know?
I don't know what is the
They
black
probably
hand.
the Mexican mafia. And see, that's what I'm saying. How you gonna get around? You got three major cartels that's running this shit. One's the Mexican mafia, the El Chapo's boys, and then there's
Sinaloa.
another one. They like Sinaloa, them, and then there's another one. They the main ones that's running that shit. Like it's and the thing of it is, bro. And here's the catch. And this is what I always tell people. I never made no money in the projects around my people. I didn't make money.
Are you sure you can't afford $600 in rent? You sound like you.
No.
What?
Wait a minute.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It wasn't me affording it. He wanted me out so he could say he's doing his. He didn't even want to. When I said to him, I said, "Well, man, I was like, well, raise it up. I ain't tripping. Why would you?" But I was gonna say, "Damn, that's quite a lot." But okay,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, I get it.
But he didn't want that. He didn't even want that. But the big picture is that when I sold dope, I never made no money selling nothing to my people. It was everybody outside of the community. It was white folks. That's where I made my money. The consumer is not what y'all think. The consumer is not. The consumer is everybody that says that they don't do it. Just believe.
Wow.
Believe that. Because there's no. I can't. You're talking about, and this is. I'm gonna just use this. And I'm in Kentucky. Listen, this is Kentucky. So imagine what it's like: Chicago, New York, California, Miami, Memphis, and so on. You've got 15 or 20 of us, right?
Jackson, thank
we
you.
all on the block. We all moving. I might make 1,000. He might make 500, 700,000, 2,500. We're all moving. And you think we are in the black community in the early 90s? Everybody's broke. What they spending? They're like $10, $20. The fuck? You think I'm buying Coogee sweaters? I got a rack of Coogee, $600 a sweater. You think I'm buying that because a bunch of motherfuckers coming up spending $10? Are you fucking serious?
That's a good point. I see it.
Like, think about it.
Yeah.
The money is coming. The money is coming from the outskirts. Like it's dumb how people are sitting there like, man, you're killing your community. The motherfuckers ain't the fuck. Them motherfuckers ain't spending no money. They running. They run. They'll go find motherfuckers that's got the money, who's got a $600,000 house, who's got 2 cars in the garage, whose kids are in college. That's what's really going on. You can't have a multi-billion-dollar business and nobody's buying your shit.
Good point.
You can't. You just can't. And then that's where it gets done. And then even when he was talking about the food stamps, like he didn't understand that corporations get welfare all the time. It's called corporate subsidy.
Yeah, they don't. I don't think the right is not concerned with corporate welfare because they tend to believe that ain't no poor person ever gave me a job. So they favor looking out for the wealthy because they believe in trickle down economics. If you look out for the wealthy, they'll look out for us all.
In which it trickled. Look, I'm gonna tell you what I did. I had a conversation. I don't know. People might say this is crazy. I had a conversation with ChatGPT, and I asked. I don't know. Some people tell Chat what to do. I literally have conversations. So I said to him. I asked him what the definition of capitalism was. Then I asked him was the Federal Reserve a private entity? And he's like, yeah. I said, well, why don't they just buy the money? He's like, oh no. I said, well, it only costs 78 cents to print $100 bill from the Federal Reserve.
Listen, I don't want to go too deep into Chat GPT because it's only as valuable as the program. I do got to move it on, but this has been an interesting conversation. You got a hell of a lot of knowledge in a field we don't talk about too much. But that was a hell of a conversation. Jen, I do got to move it on. Come on back
Okay.
anytime.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yes,
that. That ain't dry snitching. That's knowledge. It started out as dry snitching, but he became a full-fledged confession with knowledge. Tap the screen, get us on up to 115. We can make that happen. Just like some of the prison guards are on the payroll. Yeah. Corrupt people don't get away with corruption on their own. Just like in the hood, everybody knows where a drug house is. So why don't the police go and do anything? Because there's cops on the payroll. I mean, they don't get away with doing that stuff on their own. I mean, people that are dealing most people that are involved in corruption to any level, they probably got cops and people on the payroll helping them maintain it, helping them stay in business. Looking in the comments here real quick, companies get subsidies for people who are on assistance. That's why they ask questions on the application. Wow. Well, to me, if you're only paying people minimum wage and you know they're full-grown adults with kids, you already know they're getting assistance. That's why I always tell people, you keep talking about minimum wage don't need to increase, burger flippers don't only need so much money. There's a whole lot of jobs that are reserved for adults that don't pay shit. I always use the dollar store example. You go to the dollar store, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, whatever the hell it's called. That adult that's working behind the counter ringing up your shit, that person, if they got kids, they're getting SNAP. They're working because they're serving you, but they're not getting paid enough to take care of their family. Guaranteed, that person is probably getting some kind of SNAP or some kind of assistance because you know what Dollar Tree and dollar stores pay. It ain't enough to take care of that family. And as long as you keep saying minimum wage should be kept low, you're actually subsidizing a very wealthy company like Dollar General or Dollar Tree to pay them low so that you can use your tax money and pay them the rest. You're helping that. So it goes both ways. Real quick, we'll move on to Miss Mo Better right now. Oh. Miss Mo Better, good evening.
Act like
And now you got a shitty signal.
I was since you. Now my service won't act up. But I said I was on since you got on. I was number one in the West. I was, oh man, here we go again. Anyway.
Well, I got a lot going on. I ain't trying to ignore you. I'm not trying to do that. I can tell you that. Your signal is terrible now. I'm trying not to drop you. I'm not able to make out anything you're saying, Miss Mobetta.
Can you hear me now?
Somewhat.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, okay. You got like one bar. Go ahead.
Yeah, because my Wi-Fi. Yeah, my service is low. I'm just getting home.
Okay.
But can you hear me? If not, you can drop me and I'll come back.
Right now you're good. Whatever you heard that you disagree with.
Huh?
Whatever you heard that you might disagree with.
Oh, goodness. DJ Julio, I am convinced DJ Julio is MAGA React's daddy.
Oh my Lord.
That is his father. When I tell you their whole language is just alike, and that right there is confirmation that they are in a cult. It's cult-like behavior.
Well, he believes. What did he say? He believes that Trump stopped 9 wars, which would be admirable. He believes that the war between the Ukraine and Russia slowed down, which would be admirable. And he also believes
all of that stuff were true, Tim.
Yeah.
We could give only if that stuff were true. Listen, we Trump has been inflating shit, numbers, all of that stuff, his whole existence.
Yeah.
Even if you want to start from his presidency, he's been inflating shit since he rode down that gold elevator. He's been inflating shit. So how can you trust anything that comes out of his mouth?
Well, I mean, he does exaggerate from time to time. But are you saying that everything he says you don't trust Trump at all?
No, I don't. I don't. And And the fact that this going back with him and Mamdani, he wants Mamdani. He's trying to play nice because they would need New York. They would need everybody in the midterms to vote red. Trust me, he ain't doing that shit for nothing. He's not nice like that. He doesn't do things out of the kindness of his heart. Oh, let me accept his invitation or whatever. Let me invite him in. No, there's always something in the mix for him.
Then I'm going to ask, if you know, I know, and most of my guests know, why the hell don't Mamdani know? What was Mamdani thinking?
I'm sure he knows too. He knows too, but he's going to need something too. See, he's fresh in these waters. He's fresh in these politic waters. You know what I mean? He's not really that bull. He's just young. He knew how to campaign, and he got in there. Now he got to figure out how to maneuver. Start at the top and then work your way down. That's the smartest way to do it.
Well, I got one for you. You know, anytime you get on, you bring them out. There's somebody, now this is not an insult. Well, it is insulting, but they're challenging Florida Blondie. So this is obviously a female. Florida Blondie says, this woman is so stupid. Show me a politician that actually does do something from their heart. So from the kindness of their heart. She continues on by saying, because Trump has done way more for people than any other president. What say you?
I say that's why we call MAGA stupid. You dumb blonde. You dumb fucking blonde. You shut up and stay over there and continue to be that dumb blonde that you are. No, he hasn't. Yeah, he has done more for people. Fired people, had people out here almost in the streets starving. So what more does she want? Because we got it for days. And his ass is on them Epstein files.
Well, we haven't proved that he's on the Epstein files yet.
Well, Pam Bondi said it. She told him he did. He was.
Well, he could be in
now they're trying to come up with new evidence and shit to try to prolong the release of those files. Now they're trying to have new investigations. When she stated that there were no new investigations. Come on now, Tim.
Well, there is a lot. There is. I'm not going to deny with President Trump saying that it's a Democrat hoax and there's nothing there. Then all of a sudden bringing up Bill Clinton and Larry Summers. There's some contradicting information coming from the Trump
Very camp. Contradictory. Then he said, oh, we got 50,000 pages. Yeah. Pam Bondi said 33,000. So what number is it? So if it's a hoax, where are you coming up with these names?
Listen, I'm willing to defend Trump where there's room to defend him. I don't understand why they handled the Epstein stuff so bad. I mean, you knew when you became president, people are expecting you to produce something on this, and he's been trying from day one not to. So why he's handled it so bad, I don't know, because he knew people wanted something.
He campaigned on that, Tim. They keep trying to say the Democrats. Trump campaigned on that. Biden that wasn't talking about no Epstein's files. They wasn't talking about that shit. Trump said it.
Yeah. Well,
and you know what? And then QAnon was the one who got it started even before that. You know that's Trump people's QAnon.
Yeah. Well, they campaigned on it because everybody thought it was. I mean, I was hearing everybody from Oprah Winfrey to Will Smith to Tom Hanks was on the list. So he campaigned on it because it sounded like what MAGA wanted was a whole bag of liberals you could feast off of. But now that he's in there and he's forced to actually deliver, they're not doing it.
Now he's trying to do everything. He's being Taco now. He's trying to do everything in the world to get people talking about somebody else besides the files. Something else besides the files. Now it's Mamdani in the house. You had a whole schmurderer in the fucking White House that was on the FBI #1 list. You had he ran out rolled out the red carpet for that.
Oh, you mean Vladimir Putin? Yeah, the Vladimir Putin thing.
No, the other guy from the other day that was on there. What's his name?
Oh, the Saudi prince.
Saudi prince. Yeah. The prince.
Yeah.
They had flew planes, fighter jets, all kind of shit for him the other day.
But
he didn't just. Yes, they did.
They did the same thing for Putin too.
How much did that cost America?
They did the same thing when Putin came on. Putin got a flyover as well.
Trump is Putin's bitch.
Damn. Well, what?
That's his bitch. He got him by the balls.
Well, look, at the end of the day, I gotta put you back. So you're sounding like you're similar to Mike. You believe that Putin is got some kind of blackmail stuff on Trump.
He absolutely does. He talks. Trump talks shit about everybody but Putin. Oh, and BB, he don't talk about BB either. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you why he's piling up to Mamdani. He in New York. Let me tell you, the Jews. This is a slogan about New York. New York is the Jews own it, the Italians run it, the black, whites, and Puerto Ricans enjoy it.
Wait, give me that one again. Say that
New
again.
York, the Jews own it, the Italians run it, blacks, white, and Puerto Ricans enjoy it.
Damn.
So listen, he's trying to make good back into New York after all of that fiasco that he was going through. So he figured, let me cool up to this guy being the mayor. So, like you said, he can get accounts and all kinds of stuff going in New York again, because you know they can't do charities or nothing in New York right now. They can't do none of that stuff.
If you're Mamdani, do you meet with Trump?
Yeah, let me see. Why not? Let me see what he's talking about. What harm could it do right now with him meeting with Trump? And he's not even in office fully yet.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he?
Well, if you don't think the guy is, because you don't believe anything he says is factual, why would you go and meet with a guy if you believe everything he says to you is a lie?
Because Trump, even though he be lying, everything he does, he says he be projecting also. So he always sinks his own ship with his mouth.
Sinking ship. He seems to be winning constantly, Miss Mobetta. Trump seems to be a nonstop winner.
It might appear that way now, Tim. It's not going to end well for Trump. It's not.
When the man is 80 years old, damn near. What do you mean it's not going to end well?
What that mean? Oh, but for what y'all say, he's out there in the streets. He 80 years old. He got all of this going on. Come on, this is what you said, not me. He got it going on for an 80-year-old man. So what does that mean?
I mean, look.
Okay. Now, ain't no flip-flopping on that shit.
No, listen. At the end of the day, he does hold a better schedule than Biden. I mean, he's a far more vibrant person than Biden.
Biden was his age way back when. Biden old as fuck. What you want us to do?
Well, Biden is only 3 years older than Trump. 3 years ago.
He also had cancer too. So what do you want? He was sick the whole time, I believe.
So in other words, he was lying to us about his health.
No, he wasn't lying. He just didn't disclose it. There's a whole difference.
What are you, fucking lawyer? What are you, a lawyer? It's okay. He lied. He just didn't tell you. So it's lying by omission. The president should let the people know if he got cancer. Would he not?
Why? So they could drag him. Who was he running against? Who was he fighting against? Tim? Look how they treat him now. He's not even in office. What are you talking about?
You're trying to tell me that if the president is dealing with a deadly disease like cancer, he shouldn't tell the people? Thank you for that,
no,
Jackson.
He need to tell his doctors and his wife is who he needs to tell.
I don't know.
Trump fucked up right now. Are you saying people should say something? No.
What do you mean he's fucked up?
Come on, Tim. Trump fucked up. Did you see how he looked when he did that press conference? Wait, a couple nights ago, about a week or so ago, when he got up there, and I forgot what he was doing. However, his eyes look like he just got out of the ring with Frazier.
I keep hearing how sick and how fucked up Trump is, but you know what? He keeps showing up and doing more and more press conferences, traveling the damn world. You keep saying he's about to.
That's what I just said. I told you. You said he'd be outside. So what's the problem?
I mean, the guy might be healthier than you folks on the left want to give him credit for.
Bullshit. Listen, I won't give a shit. He could be healthy or not healthy. He's raggedy.
What do you mean by he's raggedy? Elaborate.
He out here committing all kind of crimes. Now you going after the Democrats because people ain't as scared of your ass anymore. They're not kissing your ass. When he was telling those people, when the Democrats got up there and told the military, you don't have to follow unlawful orders.
Well, last I heard, they all needed to be hung, says Trump.
Well, and who said that?
President Trump.
Okay, then. I tell you this time and time again, your body is only as good as your head. The head of this country is fucked up. The body of it is going to be fucked up too. And that's what we're seeing. Look how the Department of Education now is reclassifying who's a professional. It's disgusting.
I'm hearing from many folks, particularly MAGA, that Trump is one of the best presidents we've ever had. You heard Florida Blondie in the comments state that he's done more for people than any other president.
Yeah, we also heard DJ Julio speak. Yeah. How much of that bullshit that you believe that he was saying? Come on now.
I mean, I made it clear I didn't agree with anything he was.
And most of the women that support him are professional wives. You went out in search of a husband. She has no free thinking. She thinks what her husband thinks.
Professional wife. So how do you respond to Bama Landscaper in the comments says, so you think the left is always 100% straight up telling the truth?
No, I don't. I don't believe that they all tell the truth. Listen, you have dinos just like you got rhinos. That was just proven when them 8 jumped shit on the Democrats a couple of weeks ago.
I don't know. You sure you're not hammering the man too hard?
Well, listen, I know you like to give him a little more credit. That's what people say you be fluffing at Tim. You like to say, but I'm going on the shit that I see. When he's attacking his own people. You got people around the world laughing at our ass for that shit. Well, your own people are on attack from the president of the United States. He's attacking his own people.
Well, I don't disagree that. I don't disagree with you that the Marjorie Taylor Greene thing in particular, that could cause him to lose some MAGA because MAGA knows that Marjorie Taylor Greene was genuine MAGA. So for Trump,
hard body.
You said what?
She was hard body.
Yeah. She's about as genuine. She's about as loyal and genuine. Well, I won't say loyal because she did challenge him, but she's about as genuine for the cause as you can get. So for Trump to call her a traitor, I think even some MAGAs like that might be a bit much.
Well, he calls names to anybody who doesn't agree with him or talk or ask him a crazy question that he has no true answer to. You see how he called that reporter, which her name is not Peggy, her name is Catherine. He called her Peggy.
Yeah, somebody said her name was Peggy. Was that MAGA reaction?
Peggy, her name was Catherine. Now, how do you call that true representation? How do you expect people to respect that? No people. Any people that have any kind of self-respect doesn't respect anything that he does. Fuck that border.
Well,
the border is not our true problem. The problem is sitting in the White House.
Well, some are going to suggest that when he called her Piggy, it was just meant to be a joke.
Bullshit. He had 100 frowns in his face. He was mad as fuck at her. He wants to control what people ask him, when they ask him, all that shit.
Well, what about the notion that the media has treated him like shit so much that he has the right to be angry?
He shouldn't act like shit. People wouldn't treat him like that. He sets his own precedent, Tim. He sets his own. And I see they saying in the chat that Marjorie Taylor Greene is resigning.
Really? I ain't heard of it. But they also said something earlier that what is his name? J.D. Vance was going to get rid of his wife. I got to hear that. Oh, no, it is on there. I'm watching News Nation. It is on it. It's at the bottom of the screen. Marjorie Taylor Greene resigns from Congress. Wow.
You see the disgusting part is because because all of those people getting threats, death threats, and even those Democrats that made that commercial getting death threats and shit. She's been getting them too.
Wow.
Good for her.
Yeah, I heard.
I'm still not a fan of hers, but good for her.
Yeah, I heard now, and I seen the comments. God's image. You said something to be. No, I got to turn on Fox. I'm assuming it's on Fox. I got News Nation on with Chris Cuomo. The bottom of the ticker says breaking news: Marjorie Taylor Greene resigns from Congress. This is actually happening. This is not bullshit. This is happening right now.
Look, all of this is on Trump's hands. This is all because of him. And Bondi gonna be the one going to jail. It won't be Trump. It'll be her.
And I'll tell you something. That's a seat that Trump's the midterms that she was going to win probably. I mean, that's a seat that is now in jeopardy for the right. They were going to win. I mean, they may still win it because it's a red district, but Marjorie Taylor Greene was a lock. That's a seat that was there.
She might have took a lot of them red people with her. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? She could have took a lot of them voters with her.
That's crazy.
So I know now you're going to be ready like, oh, we're going to end the live. You're going to go watch this shit. Come back tonight at midnight.
I can't. I just, man, I was trying to see if it's on. It ain't. It's so new. It's not on YouTube yet, and I don't want to play any channel for copyright purposes. But it's clearly on. They're talking about it on News Nation right now. This is coming in right now. So, wow, that's crazy. I mean, and you're right. That is 100% Trump that caused that. 100%. That woman was that woman was down for the cause. She just didn't like him flip flopping on the Epstein stuff.
But you gotta admit, Tim, anywhere you see or hear his name, there is nothing but chaos.
Yeah.
It's chaotic, even from his TV show, from his failed businesses, his bankruptcies, his court cases. Come on, and this was before he even got into politics. This didn't just start in politics. He got that chaotic spirit with him.
Yeah, and apparently she stated that I won't be a battered wife. So that's what she said on the way out. Now in the comments,
I'm telling you, people sending death threats and all kind of stuff. What do you listen? If Congress don't do something about this shit now, this really is going to be the fall. I'm telling you.
Let me ask you something. Real quick, somebody in the comments says any Republican will win Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat. Yeah, but will they have the same power, love, and adoration as she had? Just like Trump. If Trump is replaced by J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio, that's not the same. They don't have the same strength for the party as Trump does. So I don't know about that.
They come with a different level of strength. Yeah, they're not the same as
right. But let me ask you this. Now that Marjorie Taylor's a free woman, Tulsi Gabbard style, would the Democrats entertain accepting her? She could be a hell of a friend.
She could be a help. I see that happening. She could be a help for the Democrats. You know what I'm saying? And now's the time the Democrats really should be going hard.
She would, at the very least, I'm assuming she could be a CNN contributor. Some of them networks are gonna be like, for the rest of the Trump's term, you got a job here. So you're gonna probably see her on.
We don't want no pretenders in there, though. We don't need no pretenders. She got whatever she do. She got to come with her whole fucking chest.
Well, goddamn it, she put her life on the line. She don't prove she's not a pretender at this point.
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah, I mean, she went against Trump and lost. I mean, how many folks on the right go against Trump?
Well, you got 77 million people.
I mean, the woman was still talking shit while actually getting MAGA death threats. To me, she's earned.
I think a lot more, and this is my personal opinion. I just think a lot more of that's going to happen. You know why? It's because they see that he's willing to throw anybody under the bus. It's all about him.
And
the only one that don't see it is Grinder Johnson.
And her family, as a congresswoman, she ain't got no security of any significance. She can be touched. She can be touched. I got to move it on, but hopefully nothing happens to MTG. Miss Mobetta, sorry about the hold. I didn't see it. Type it in the comments.
I don't want to have to come up here and call you a milk dud. you fucking with that uncooked protein.
Gangsta Grandma is MIA today. I haven't seen her today.
She had popped on earlier, then jumped off. Right. I don't know what happened.
All right, fair enough. Miss Mobetta, I appreciate you coming through.
Yo.
Thank you. By the way, tap the screen. Marjorie Taylor Greene is out. Wow. Now, is she resigning now? Or probably now. I mean, that's crazy. She clearly was running it. She clearly wanted to get reelected. That's a loss for the conservatives. There's no other way around. That is a loss for the conservatives. One of my guests talked about any Republican she'll win another Republican or replace her. Could be. But like I mentioned, Marjorie Taylor Greene was more MAGA than anybody else. You may get another Republican in there that is not as far to the right. That's a loss. And all she did to get on the wrong side of Trump was complain that he wasn't doing what he promised. That's all it took. Wow. That's a loss to the right. No matter how you frame that, how you try to spin it, that is a loss to the right to lose what probably is the most well-known at the time, well-respected MAGA congressperson? What member of Congress was more loved and respected from a MAGA standpoint than Marjorie Taylor Greene? That's a loss. That's a big loss. Anyway, moving on with the program. By the way, I do appreciate the 125,000. Wow, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm still thinking. Kate broke. It broke while we was holding the show. Thank you for the 125,000. I like the dressing up to them. Really perfect. Thank you. Thank you. I look better this way when you're beating my ass. Thank you for helping me reach that TikTok cap go. I think we came close. I think we actually succeeded with that. Appreciate you guys that support the program. It always helps. Nevertheless, I do want to see more about this. MAGA is over, says Mr. Magic. MAGA ain't over as long as Trump has breath in his body. MAGA is not over. There are people that can replace it, but you don't want to get rid of foundation members like Marjorie Taylor Greene. That was not good for MAGA to do that, to get rid of her. Maybe she saw the Epstein files. Says, well, if she saw him, you're going to hear from her now. My guess is now that MAGA has pretty much treated Marjorie Taylor Greene like a redheaded stepchild, she has nothing to lose. So if there's something she has that can help the Democrats, expect her to give it up. Expect her to write a book. Expect her to do interviews. Expect her to do another appearance on The View. Expect her to be on CNN. I mean, you didn't give her anything for all of the commitment to the cause that she put in. Expect her to give it up to and including a woman actually stated that she was receiving death threats, and Trump was like, well, who really cares about her anyway? She has no reason whatsoever to do anything but seek the dollar from the liberals. The liberals will pay whatever she wants to help secrets, insider shit that she may know, because I believe she's probably the beneficiary of some insider trading as well. Who knows? But my guess is with Marjorie Taylor Greene being thrown under the bus, she has no reason at all to have any loyalty to MAGA at all. That's who is calling her. That's who is doxing her home. That's who is sending pizzas to her crib. That's who is making threats to her. It's all MAGA. She has no reason whatsoever to be loyal to MAGA. And the Democrats will offer her a heap of money to talk about what she knows. Expect to see a lot from Marjorie Taylor Greene in the upcoming weeks. It's your boy Tim. As always, if you enjoy this type of dialogue from all sides of the aisle, I'm going to ask that you do what I always ask you to do, because we are MAGA friendly nevertheless. Follow the program if you happen to be watching on TikTok, Instagram, or currently watching us on Facebook. And if you're watching on YouTube, give us a sub. We'll absolutely be here again tomorrow. We're here most weekdays, but tomorrow certainly with her resigning. I see Dosey says January the 5th. Yeah, and I see it's on News Nation. Marjorie Taylor Greene to resign from Congress on January 5th. Wow. So they got to replace her. So yes, absolutely. Give your boy a sub if you're watching on YouTube. Follow the program if you're watching on TikTok. It's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. I got to go. Catch you tomorrow. Take care. Marjorie Taylor Greene is out. What the actual fuck?